Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Tuesday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next three. Blue Jackets General Manager Don Waddell going to join us here in 28 minutes from now. 10 o'clock, we hit you with the real truth. 10:30, Uncle Dommy is going to drop by as well. NFL draft starting to heat up as we get closer and closer to that. I do think it's appropriate, and especially something we should do here right off the top, because, again, my wife does not think I start this show until 10 o'clock. And so I think we need to do a little bit of man court. And I think I'm either going to be the plaintiff or the defendant on this. It really depends on the jury of the peers and how it is ruled. So this was all actual events. These events have happened. They all happened yesterday. So I get a text from my wife, OMG, Buddy Garrity just got hit. Buddy just got hit. She doesn't call him full name. So I'm doing what I do in the afternoon, and so I can't respond right away. So I get in the car, and I start to hear this tale of how, as I've said many before, we have an electric fence around the property, and so he can roam, and on nice days, like we've had the last couple of days, he's outside for most of the day, and he cruises around, he chases squirrels, acts like he's the big boss, so forth and so on. He also greets delivery drivers, and there are some who will give a little piece of bacon, and so he's forever in their debt. With those type of things. If your delivery driver gives a little bit of that he's all win. Now, I acknowledge that him being outside, the onus is on us to keep him in line with the delivery drivers. I do not think a delivery driver should have to navigate a golden retriever to drop off boxes. To me, that's beyond what their job should be. But I'm guessing this is something that their job is a lot. So I get her on the phone. She's not pleased. And apparently what happened was the Amazon driver smoked Buddy with her phone. Like, hit him in the face with the phone. Okay. So, which then led to my wife to go at the driver, the delivery driver. So there became a little bit of an altercation. Nothing physical. And then it calmed down, and my wife was calm, and then eventually everything was fine. So she tells me this whole story about, can you believe that she did this, that they did it to Buddy, da-da-da. And I said, now we have cameras, security stuff, so it's all going to be on tape. And I said, well, let's do this. I think the tape will tell the story. And I said, my hunch is that Buddy and us are in the wrong. Before I see this, just my prejudice is that we were in the wrong here, and that this is not on the delivery driver in any way, shape, or form. So we pull it up on the phone, watching the security. So the delivery driver that drops off the package, she's walking away from the front door, and you see Buddy come loping up. Now, the tail's wagging, but he's 80 pounds now. I mean, he's full. He's a little fat, too, because of winter. So he's a little fat, not in the best shape. And he comes loping up, and he's barking, and he's wagging a tail. But he's barking. Like, there's no question. So the delivery driver starts kind of like behaving in a way, to me, very clearly, of someone who's never really been around dogs. So the delivery driver starts getting kind of frantic and kind of like yelling at him and waving her hands like to try to get him to go away. So as you guys, Reese's dog owner, what does dog do when he sees this?
Oh, he's ready to play.
Let's play, baby.
Yeah.
We're in. What are we doing? Can I play? Can I play with you, or what are we doing?
He's getting jumpy. He's doing the tapping with his feet.
Yeah.
Probably barking a little bit more. Wide smile.
Jumping. We're going to play some games, huh? I'll play some games, Pindeckle. Let's go. So that's the way we go. We're going to play some games. So he's kind of lunging. She's lunging at him. He's thinking he's playing games. She doesn't know any better. So she just smokes him with the phone, like right in the face. Just full hand smokes him. Then you see on the video, my wife sprinting, pointing her fingers. You can hear my wife going, "How dare you?" So she goes. So then you see like this, it's some heated words. He was barking. He was showing teeth, so forth and so on. And then there's a calming down. And so I watch all of this, and I save comments to the end. And I said, honey, I love you. I think you're a wonderful girl. And I think I like Buddy just fine. It's on us. I think it's on us. Like, she felt threatened. Yeah, he's a golden retriever. He's not a dire wolf. But at the same time, if you're not raised around dogs and a big dog, he's a big dog now. He's a big dude. And he approached, and she didn't know she was trying to scare him, which he just took as a cue for play. I think it's mostly on us. Obviously, you wouldn't. Now, you could hear my wife like trying to get his attention to get him to come. Like, she was trying to circumvent it. So I think if the delivery driver waits another 30 seconds, a minute and a half, then it's probably another 30 seconds. Then he's distracted and he's on to other things. We had a buddy of mine who owns a company, does some tree taking down stuff. So they were there, and apparently the delivery driver has done this to one of their dogs before. So we have a serial delivery driver who's taking care of dogs. But I think it's mostly on us. I think it's mostly on us and on Buddy Garrity. Obviously, you hope that there isn't violence versus dogs, but I also informed her he'll be fine. Like, it's all going to be fine. He's not. There's no permanent damage here. He did get smoked pretty good.
Was he blocking the driver's path to the truck? Okay.
No. He was. She had stopped and was just flailing, like trying to scare him, I think, and he took that as let's play. To you as someone familiar with dogs, that's what they do. Let's play.
So she could have easily just ignored him and continued to the car? Okay.
I think she was also, she just saw a big dog and got scared.
Right. That's fear, right? When you're doing the arm flailing, it's like in a situation, she's probably watched a few too many survival shows when they say when you're threatened by a bear, just make yourself as big as possible. And that, fight mechanism kicked in her brain, and they acted the way they did with a phone. How big's the phone?
It felt like one of the ones that they the company issued that they take the photos with. I mean, it was a solid,
fairly sized, tablet-ish
smartphone.
Okay.
Maybe not tablety, but probably the phone in between.
So it sounds like this lady may be in the wrong profession, because unfortunately, with what she deals with, she's going to have to deal with dogs, unfortunately. Yeah. And it sounds like she's not too comfortable with dogs. My question was the wife's urgency of getting out to Buddy Garrity as much as the urgency when she saw him get hit? Because maybe that could have prevented this.
She was on, I would tell you, my wife was on a brisk jog before, because you could see it played out. I could see the whole opera. I could see
your face is awesome right now, by the way.
I loved it. She went. You could see her jogging across the screen. The altercation happening left screen left, and then a jog, and then the whack, and then a sprint, and then a point. All these things happened at once. It was amazing. All was fine. All was fine. Her and the delivery, they're fine. Everything worked out well, and we had conversations. There was no one was really harmed outside of Buddy's nose was harmed.
So no need to get Rothman involved.
No, we don't need to get our AR involved at all. And I think it's funny, Bake, you said that, because that was my wife saying, well, what is she doing being a delivery driver? I'm like, I still think it's probably on us. Probably on us if he's going to be around. This was my solution to it. I said, let's just do this. Just leave the packages at the top of the driveway. And then you don't even have to come in. Because the electric fence, his invisible fence goes it's like probably 10 feet in the property from the top of the drive. So you just leave the packages up there. That's fine. We'll go get them. That's fine. But I think it's mostly on us. I think most of the blame's on us.
We're having some delivery drivers pop in the YouTube chat here, and they said, just carry dog biscuits and everything will be okay. And I will say this, my parents' mailman, whenever the Great Danes are outside, he will give them treats, and the dog next door too. And if they hear the mail truck and they're inside, they go crazy because they want to get out and get their treat.
Oh, there's a legendary UPS driver we have who always packs bacon, little bacon strips, and he's Buddy's best buddy. So I think that's part of it too. Like he's used to seeing one and then thinking I'm getting a treat, and so now all of a sudden he thought he hit the lottery.
Right,
I'm probably getting a treat from her, and she wants to play. Let's go.
Yeah, that the association with a delivery means bacon for Buddy.
That's what he thinks. Yeah, and then so he thought that's a double win, play and bacon.
So it's the UPS driver's fault.
You're on the side with my wife, and that's probably where I should be in order to stay married. Is just continually side with her. That tends to be the right way to do things. I don't know. So there you go. That's your Monday here on the. By the way, I have another tale for you of a lamb cake that I'll share as the program goes along that met its doom on Saturday, which I was absconded for as well. All right, we got a lot to get to. A very fun night for the old guys last night. The NFL draft just a couple of days away. Don Waddell going to join us coming up in 18 minutes from now. We're off and running on a Tuesday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Everybody poops. Everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Model year closeouts on travel trailers and fifth wheels. Save thousands and start making memories at Rona RV. Family owned and operated. No pressured sales on State Route 16 in Pataskala.
RonaRV.com. RonaRV.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring into savings at Ohio Mulch. Get your mulch as easy as ever. Save $50 on home delivery now through Sunday. All you got to do is visit OhioMulch.com today.
Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Help DEA keep our community safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Lots of sun in the forecast today. It is going to be a great day to get things done outdoors. Highs right around the low 70s with mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy tonight with our temperatures dropping to right around 50. And then for Wednesday, we warm up even more with highs right around 80 degrees and lots of that sunshine. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yeah, so apparently my wife does know that this show starts at 9 because she listened to that. And she didn't think it was a fair portrayal. She thought I should have had her back even more so. I thought I was pretty fair in the retelling of her side of it. Tyler, who's a fantastic UPS driver, he's got Buddy Garrity's back on this as well. So maybe I was too harsh on the blonde and Buddy Garrity. I don't know. So there you go. Boy, by the way, this has led to all sorts of videos being shared to me on social, including, oh my God, this is from Kyle. He writes, since you're a lover of birds of flight, did you happen to see this encounter that just happened at the Columbus Zoo? And I've been telling you guys this. It is our zoo. Yeah, that's the tiger habitat. So there's a goose in the tiger habitat. I'll give you play-by-play. I mean, the tiger is on an approach. Stalking, I would say. Goose sees it.
It's lunch.
Walking away. Tiger saying, this feels like maybe I can have this guy. Goose is kind of cruising. Still, boy, he's very casual.
Goose is just picking at the ground.
He's just trying to get a bite to eat. Reese, that's it. Just a little snack. Tiger's like, that is moving. I think, okay, I'm going to pursue a little bit and we're on the run. It's a jog. For some reason, the goose is not flying. Now it's trying to fly. Tiger is in high-speed pursuit. Whoa!
Yeah, I've been on the Olentangy Trail a couple times, and I kind of feel like the tiger in this video. We'll post it at 971 BFS.
Oh my! But I've been telling you guys this for how long?
Like Goose holds him off.
I always tell the kids this. Here's the problem with these things. Look at the size of their heads versus their bodies. Their brains are too small. They don't know what they should be scared of. This is a goose who fought off a tiger.
No sense of urgency by the tiger either.
Until the goose turns and starts on the attack. That's an unbelievable. That goose is running the Tiger Center at the Columbus Zoo. We got to do some tiger training. Get these tigers to be a little bit more predatorial. You seeing this, Bake?
Yeah, I'm actually watching it right now. The tiger is chasing the goose at this moment.
Well, wait till you see how it ends.
Is this a matter of the tiger being born and bred in captivity?
Probably.
And not understanding?
That's what I'm thinking here.
The power of what he's capable of.
This is a domesticated tiger.
What that cat can do to that goose?
If this tiger wasn't getting fed steak every night at 6 on the dot, he'd be eating that goose quick.
Just one paw slap would do it, I think. It's probably the end of the road. But that's also what happens when we have these geese who are essentially domesticated and take over cities. or golf courses and everything in between. They're fearful of nothing.
That's why I said, Bo, keep driving at them. Don't stop and let them cross. Just keep your car moving.
There was one yesterday afternoon that was walking right down the road, the middle of the road, as I was approaching. It had no interest in moving and didn't. It was either dead goose or swerve. I swerved because I don't need that on my conscience. But yeah, he just was cruising right down the street.
Seems like natural selection to me.
You know how I feel about them. They're rats with wings. I was rooting for the tiger the whole way. One paw swat and let's go, buddy. That's the way that needed to end. It was a fun night on the ice and on the hardwood last night as well. The Pistons evened up their series with the Knicks. The Clippers evened up their series with the Nuggets. What I was most intrigued by, because it could have been us, is the NHL side of things. And you had game one between the Caps and the Canadiens last night. It went to overtime. Ovi scored 2, including the game winner in overtime. And it did get me thinking a little bit about how there is a group of old guys that are just out there for one last run at it all. And it's a pretty substantial group when you think about it. If you think about what Steph and LeBron are trying to do in the NBA, even Kawhi, who's getting up there in age and has dealt with a ton of injuries and still battling to knock through. And you think about this season that Ovechkin had, where he missed a ton of games. I mean, we were thinking even if he played every game that it would be potentially like one of the games here that he would break the record. It didn't. It happened way before that. And he's still an absolute sniper and had 2 last night, including the game winner. We are better older, I think, than we've ever been. There's so many things that go into it. The way that I'm sure that we eat and diet and stay in shape and all of those things are professional athletes. You've heard many professional athletes in the last several years talk about the amount of money they spend on their body to stay fit and diet and all of those things. But there's just a group of folks in their mid to late 30s, even some in their 40s, who just don't really want to stop, and it's easier now to keep going. We saw this. The best example of this was Brady, who played well into his mid-40s and won a Super Bowl in his mid-40s. So this is something we're seeing more and more of. There was a time when once you got on the back half of your 30s, you were kind of done through your prime. Now it feels like that can extend into your late 30s and early 40s. And I'm rooting for Ovi. I hope that this rolls for a while. I know that upsets my buddy Mike Thompson, big Canadiens fan, but at the same time, I'd love to see him make a run at this thing.
I do remember saying before the Stanley Cup playoffs got going that I wanted to see the Capitals just bury Montreal. And well, that's not getting buried yesterday. It's funny, and fitting that Ovechkin in the season that he ties and breaks Gretzky's all-time goal scored record, that he gets the one to dismiss Montreal from the first round. But I don't know if Ovechkin's really the kind of, you can make the same diet comparisons for Ovi that you can LeBron.
Maybe not, I don't know.
And that's, to me, the most entertaining aspect of all of that, because you're absolutely right in terms of so many of these older players have been able to fine-tune every single thing they put in their body every single day, the amount of rest they get, how they sleep, where they sleep, like the temperatures that their bed can get at different points in the night. Like, the science is incredible in all this. And I think Ovechkin's just a freak of nature and can still slug some vodka before the game, a couple beers after the game. Maybe he goes to Taco Bell afterwards if there's one close to the stadium in Washington. He's still good. He's still great, I should say.
He's great, yeah.
It's awesome to see, to me, in a world of sports where we've gotten younger and younger, that you still have old guys playing at the peak level, whether it's Brady and LeBron, who, as you mentioned, spend so much money on their bodies, or a guy like Ovechkin, who's just a natural freak of nature. And he has been... This dude has been the same way since he came into the league at 20 years old or whatever it was. He's built like a linebacker on skates. He can skate like the wind. He has the best shot in the world, and he has no problem going out there and trucking you, and no problem, kind of like Luka, drinking a beer in the post-game press conference after. Like, who cares? And Washington, at least, was smart enough to keep that guy the whole time and not trade him away when he was 26 for fear of injury.
The thing with him that's so interesting is that specific skill that he has travels. Like, he just is going to be, he's going to have that shot as long as he's alive. I mean, you think about Yager and how long he played. And if you have it, you see pitchers do this. Like, they have a specific skill set that they they can thrive at for a very, very long time. The LeBron side, one thing with LeBron that I always assumed would happen that never did is I thought he would kind of change his style and to become kind of a mid-post guy, but that's never really happened. He's continued to play the same way. Steph's a little bit like Ovechkin, though. Like, his ability to get shots and shoot from anywhere will allow for, and also he's not carrying a bunch of weight. His ability, I think Steph can play at a high level for a long time if he wants. I don't see any reason why he doesn't play another 5 to 7 years if he wants to. That one skill is just so elite.
Even Draymond has been pretty impressive late. Like Klay Thompson, similarly, like these guys have been able to do it really well for a long time. And I think to the idea with Golden State especially is that they can add complementary pieces around them, but as long as you've got Steph playing at that level, you're always going to be in competition for the playoffs. And you're always going to be a threat because Steph's always going to command that respect until he's done.
Yeah.
I think the other things with these guys that we're forgetting, and obviously they're ridiculously great athletes and have skills that transcend, but the one thing is maybe they've lost a step, but they're all smart enough and know the game enough where they've learned little nuances and things through experience where they can make up for that step that's lost.
Oh, yeah. LeBron defensively, Steph defensively, they take a lot of breaks on that side of the court. You can take a few possessions off in February and January when you're starting to get those things done.
Although Steph got Jimmy Butler, and they held the Rockets to 85 points in game one, so
yeah,
they're doing something right.
Yeah, no, it'll be. And Cavs are back tomorrow. Is when they're back into the mix. You got 3 on the NBA side of things tonight. Early, you have the Celtics and the Magic tonight. I believe is that tonight or is that no? What tonight? We've got
Milwaukee and Indy. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Thunder Grizzlies, Pacers and Bucks, and then Lakers and Timberwolves. That's a 10 o'clock tip on that one. Well, he's the boss. He's running your Columbus Blue Jackets. They had a magical season that came up just close, and now a monster offseason is in front of him. He will join the program in 2 minutes. Don Waddell, Blue Jackets general manager in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Empower. Nick bought a new guitar, a 62 American Classic Electric. Does he know how to play? No. But Nick's Empower investment account has performed well. He got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risks. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is a really, really, really good guitar solo.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Here on The Fan, we talk about getting rid of joint pain with the regenerative experts at QC Kinetics. There's no surgery, no downtime, just your body's own healing properties working to give you relief. So you can enjoy doing the activities that you love, like the fastest growing sport in the country. That's pickleball. And here in the Columbus area, QC Kinetics is proud to be a sponsor of Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club. Learn, grow your skills, challenge yourself, and meet other pickleball players. Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club features the ultimate indoor facility with 16 state-of-the-art courts. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, Paddle Tap welcomes all skill levels. See what you're missing. Call Paddle Taps and mention QC Kinetics, and you'll get 1 hour of free play, courtesy of QC Kinetics, the people who take care of those achy joints, so you can play for years to come. For details, go to pbtaps.com. That's pbtaps.com. pbtaps.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations, Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
And here's what's up on a Tuesday edition of the program. Our privilege to be joined by the general manager of your Columbus Blue Jackets. He's Don Waddell. He does so on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Don, thank you so much for taking the time. Now that you've had a couple of days to look back on that season, from your vantage point, and boy, it had all of it, and just short of a playoff, but took it all the way to the final day. What was that ride like from your vantage point?
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me. When we started the season, obviously, with everything going on, we were saying if we could play meaningful games in March, it would be a big step for us. And, I kept waiting during the year for the bubble to kind of burst, and we had some, couple game losing streaks, then we'd come back and win a few, and then in March we went into a tailspin, and I thought, okay, it finally hit us, and then these guys were remarkable. The veterans in our locker room really took charge, and young kids really stepped forward, and we made a good run at the end of the year. And I said after the Four Nations, every game we play to the end of the season, regardless if we get in or not, are going to be hard games and like playoff games. Mm-hmm. So I think the experience that our guys got going through that is tremendous. So as I look back, we're always disappointed, and sorry to say you're satisfied when you miss the playoffs, but when you look at everything that happened throughout the year, I'm very proud of these guys and what they accomplished.
What was when you take over a job like this and you take over an organization, obviously you deal with just immeasurable tragedy right out of the gates with Johnny, but once that happens, and then you got to try and manage all of that, and your first year on the job, what was in your headspace about what you're going to learn about this team, and maybe what did you learn about the pieces that were already here?
Well, what I wanted to do is spend a lot of time with the players and not talking about hockey, talking about personal things. Everybody mourns differently. Everybody handles situations differently. But, I always, and regardless of the situation, I want to get to know our players. I want to know their families. I want to know, because we all forget we're hockey players, but we also have families to deal with. And, if a child's having problems at home, we want to know about it so we can help out. And what I learned about these guys is the tremendous character in that room. And, I said at the trade deadline, I couldn't rip the Band-Aid off some of these guys. It would have destroyed that locker room. It's very close-knit guys. And I use Olivier as a great example. I tried to trade for this player for 4 years because I liked him as a player, but then I got to know him as a person. And I found out, boy, there's more to this guy than just playing hockey. And what he did for us, not only on the ice, but off the ice. And that's what made it easy for me to sign him to a 6-year contract.
Yeah, there are so many stories like that. And you mentioned you didn't want to tear the Band-Aid off at the deadline. I remember those comments that you made about, we owe it to this group to see what happens. It played out the way that it played out. Would you have done anything differently, or do you even believe in that?
No, I really believe in that at this point. Yeah, I truly think that was the right decision for the situation that we were in. And if I had to redo it all over again, I'd do the exact same thing.
I talked to Jody Shelley before every game on game day, and one of the things that he and I discussed was every game in March was a playoff game. And it didn't say Stanley Cup playoffs, and even into April, they were all Stanley Cup playoff games. And one thing I noticed, especially the last couple, and you couldn't help but notice, but your young guys and the value of that, and Fantilli jumps out. He was sensational the last couple of weeks. He was sensational. I mean, a 30-goal scorer in year 2 in the league, Don. I don't know that anybody saw that coming. What did you see from him? Obviously, he was one of the key pieces when you took the job that I'm sure you wanted to nurture and take care of. What did you see from Fantilli in year 2 for him? Year 1 with you with him.
Yeah, when we talked beginning of the year, we talked about becoming a good pro, and you bring in a guy like Sean Monahan, who is a good pro. And I said, you watch Sean Monahan, you learn from him, and you'll be a better player because of it. And I think he really did that. And then, unfortunately, we lost Sean for 28 games, but that gave Fantilli that opportunity then to take his game to another level, which he did. So I think surrounding yourself with good veterans is critical for your young players. I think it helped Fantilli immensely. I think it helped Ken Johnson. And, to me, the growth of our young players this year, they took bigger steps than I can even imagine, and that's only going to set us up well for the future.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you think about Marchenko getting 30, Fantilli getting 30. You think about Werenski and record. I mean, you knew it with him, but he even elevated too, didn't he, Don? In terms of you saw what he did in the Four Nations. I'm sure he obviously is going to get some love in terms of the season awards. I'm sure they'll be represented there. Before you got here, what did you think Zach Werenski was capable of, and then what did he prove to you he was capable of this year?
Yeah, well, I knew Zach years ago with the U.S. program and when he played the NTDP program, and then with some of the World Championships. And but I never coached or managed him like this year. And my first conversations with him, I can't speak for what's happened in the past. He was a determined player, that not just the Four Nations. We all expected he was going to make that, but to be a difference maker for this hockey club. And if you look at those first 2 months of the season without Zach Werenski, I'm not sure where it would be. He took this team on his back, and throughout that first half of the year, and then continuing on after the Four Nations, you can't say enough good things. And again, another guy that is a quiet leader, but he really stepped up in the locker room when needed to be.
Speaking of guys who stepped up, Jet Greaves, incredible last stretch of play there. And with a goalie, you can get hot and you can ride it. Did he earn? We all know the contract situation. Did he earn a big look from you guys next fall with the way he played down the stretch?
Yeah, 100%. And even if he didn't have the great run he had, I mean, he's had a good year. And Elvis was playing most of the games, and Elvis the first half of the year was, I thought, was tremendous. And you think about the outdoor game, we had no business winning that game, and Elvis won it for us. So we wanted to keep Jet playing, of course, because we knew he was going to get an opportunity at some point. Didn't know it was going to end the way it did when Elvis got hurt, but certainly what he is, quality of work, not just at the end of the year, but through the season, puts him in a great position to earn a spot here. Like I say, competition in training camp is always good, and we're going to have some good competition.
Talking to Don Waddell, Columbus Blue Jackets general manager on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. This was a magical ride. I mean, it kind of had every twist and turn, and starting, of course, with the tragedy that it did. And then the outdoor game was, I think, a moment for our city and our hockey club that will never be forgotten. And that was just absolutely pristine the way you guys pulled all of that off. But then with all of that now comes expectations, and I don't think there were many expectations heading into this season. So when you head into this offseason, Don, what is your checklist in terms of okay, we had a nice run, we came up just short, but now we want to be one of those teams who are not chasing the 8, but in the mix every single year. What's your offseason checklist look like?
Yeah, no, it's going to be, we're going to have to be aggressive because we know there's some spots that we need to be better at. And, we look at the free agent. We've had lots of meetings about the unrestricted free agents. It's not a deep pool this year. So, we have multiple first-round picks. We have pretty good pool of assets from young players. We might be able to do it through trades. We'll obviously explore every option that's to us, including, trades and free agency, and then make a determination which players we want back from this year's team that are unrestricted.
Don, what did you learn from Dean this year? I thought he was just superb handling all of it and managing all of it all season long.
What I really like is, Dean's an emotional guy. The players love to play for him. And he really uses his coaching staff well. He doesn't have to be the guy always delivering the message because that message sometimes gets old with players. He uses his whole staff to deliver messages. And, they work very well as a group. And to me, that's where it all starts. I hand the keys to the coaches and say, okay, these are the players you got to make better and get the results from. And certainly they didn't let us down in that standpoint.
No, certainly didn't. What did you make of your first year in town? What did you make of the fan base and the city and just kind of what potentially could be possible here in Columbus?
Wow, the fan support is tremendous. The whole community rallied around us, and we had so many sellouts this year, and just being part of that. I sat in the stands the last 5 minutes of the game, our last game, just to feel it myself. And these people are very much part of our family as far as moving forward. I always say we're all in this thing together, and the support we got from not only our fan base but the whole entire community was probably something that I didn't expect as well. I've had experience in here as visiting team, now being here as the home team. This fan base, I just can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, it was a magical season, and the future very, very bright. Glad you're the one steering it. Thank you so much for your time today. We greatly appreciate it, Don.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
All right, there he goes. Don Waddell, Columbus Blue Jackets general manager, joining us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. So to sum up, young guys better sooner than I think probably everybody thought. Off-season checklist. Jet Greaves going to get a real look. I thought he did. Elvis takes a lot of slings and arrows, but I thought that was really solid of him to point out, the stretch where Elvis carried the team and certainly the outdoor game. That will be interesting to see what happens at the goalie position. And then they're going to have to make some decisions on the back end too. And now this offseason is different because of the way they played. What jumped out to you guys real quickly?
Well, I had perked up when I'd heard about, with Jet, and he deserves every opportunity to be the starting netminder for the Blue Jackets this upcoming October. Obviously, if you're Don, you can't really say too much about Elvis because he's still under contract. There's still a lot that would need to be done for other teams if you were to send Elvis to another, another situation like he'd asked for next year. But the pressure is now on, where where Don and Dean came in last season, and it was, all right, this is going to be a complete rebuild. And through a lot, they were able to make it not the case. Mm-hmm. And now the pressure is not only chase a playoff spot, but now you have to make the playoffs. So that's what comes with the wild success that they've had this year. But it does feel like, to me, listening to Don there, that they've got a great plan in place, and I have confidence that those two can make it work.
You learn a lot in your first year in a place, and this was Don and Dean's first year getting to know this group, this organization, these players, these fans. And I love what Don said there, how he went out and sat with the fans a couple times towards the end. Like, he doesn't just say that. Like, he does stuff like that. You'll see him walking around the arena during intermissions, talking to the fans. He really has the pulse of the heartbeat on this whole organization, fans included, and it's great to see and hear.
It really does, which kind of got me thinking, because you think of the spot the Blue Jackets are in. Where are they when you compare them against the other professional sports teams we pay attention to in this state? We'll have a little fun with that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where our erectile dysfunction treatments are shown to be effective in nearly 90% of cases. Listen to what Alex has to say about our ED treatments.
I have been experiencing problems with ED, but that's all changed. My name's Alex, and I've been a patient for Tri-State Men's Health for under a year. I highly recommend this. Every day I wake up feeling good compared to I was back in the old days. It change is more exciting. I don't have a problem with ED anymore. I'm having a lot more fun. I was very comfortable. I was always comfortable in any conversation I had with Tri-State Men's Health. Yeah, I just want to let gentlemen out there know that you do not have to live with ED, that it is not just an aging process. It is also hormonal and balance and everything in your system. And once you get that under control and everything, you do go back to your youth a lot in how you feel.
Thanks, Alex. It's true. If you're like most men, we'll help you get your sex life back. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Wait, Leslie, what's that dude doing over there at that window?
Well, that dude is Chase, and Chase is making that window look perfect. We're sticklers on detail, Wilson, both in our showroom and definitely in people's homes.
Chase, be careful. May have spilled some coffee over there just a bit ago.
Oh, he knows. He seems to work a lot more when you're around, Wilson. Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply.
Let's go to the floor with some late-breaking developments on the markets. Jim?
Up things are down, down things are up.
Sounds like things
You don't understand. Right is left, lemons are sweet, spaghetti is cold, the milk is warm.
Okay, but are you seeing anything that maybe smart-minded money people should know about?
Yeah. Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Probably one of the most stable things you can do is an Apex Pros air conditioner tune-up.
Air conditioner tune-ups, you say?
Oh yeah, Apex Pros knows most expensive summer breakdowns can be prevented by getting a tune-up now.
Yes, it's known that a tuned-up AC lowers energy bills, which is important to...
Oh, this is unbelievable.
What, big sell-off? Huge increase?
No, I spilled coffee on my new shirt. Anyway, tune-up save on energy bills, plus make your air conditioner last years longer.
Good to know Apex Pros keeps things stable and predictable.
That's on my pants, too. This is the worst day. This is historic. You know that.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Oh, hey, a fan show where you can be the star. Sundays at 11 is the new fan call-in show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Your calls, your tweets, your voicemails, your opinions. You could be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Your family may not listen to you, but we will. The fan call-in show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Sundays at 11 on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Relief from hip and back pain can be a reality when you work with the experts on a mobility and flexibility routine. That's why Stretch Lab was founded. Pro athletes and sports fans alike love Stretch Lab for our customized one-on-one assisted stretch sessions. Discover the difference a good stretch can make, because when your body moves better, you feel better and live better. Visit your local Stretch Lab today or go to stretchlab.com and use code FAN10 to get up to 50% off your first 50-minute stretch. Plus, receive an additional $10 off.
SoFi Personal Loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right, pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi Personal Loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply, NMLS 696891.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Cellar, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, fellas, here's the task. Cavs, Blue Jackets, Crew, Guardians, Reds, Browns, Bengals. You can buy stock in them. You have to hold on to the stock for the next 3 to 5 years. Should we go 3 or 5? Because that's a pretty big. Let's go 5. Next 5 years. Next 5 years. Is 3 better? 3 might be better.
Well, it changes my answers.
Tighter. Yeah, I know. It's a tighter time frame.
Because
Let's go 3. Let's go 3.
Okay.
3 years. Next 3 years. All right. So that's the task. Those are the 7 teams you're ranking. Who do you have at number 1, Reese?
I have Ohio State football at 1.
Well, they're not pro.
Are you sure about that?
No, I guess that's all I've ever wanted is for it to be that. So, yeah, let's take Buckeyes out of it.
Okay.
Buckeyes are out of it.
Stock at 1, the Columbus Crew. In terms of winning a championship, most likely in the next 3 years.
Okay. So Reese has Crew 1. Who do you got 1, Bake?
I mean, I think I got to go the Cavs right now because of where they're at. Like, it could happen in the next 2 months here for them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a far-fetched thing here with the Cavs. So I think I've got to go Cavs number 1 right now just because of the current climate.
I have Cavs 1 as well. They could win it in 2 months, and this core is not going anywhere, and Dan Gilbert's going to throw money around if it needs to be. He's not worried about luxury tax. So I think for the next 3 years, they're going to get a lot of bites at the apple. Number 2 for you, Reese.
I have the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay, you have the classic Cleveland fan. Bengals 2 for you.
Would you like to know where I have the Cleveland Browns?
No, I think I know where they're going to be. Bake, who do you have at number 2?
I think I'm going to go Columbus Crew here at number 2, just because we've seen it from this front office. They've got a hole to fill. They've already kind of done that a little bit. Yeah. It sounds like maybe this summer when there's more windows for them to add, they will do that. So I'll go Crew number 2.
I think Crew are number 2. They're 2 for me as well. I so far, you and I are in lockstep. Incredible ownership, great front office, will spend money, all of it. They've won it, championship pedigree. Yeah, I got the Crew 2 as well. Number 3 for you, Reese.
I have the Cleveland Cavaliers.
All right, you have the Cavs 3.
Because I don't think it's this year, but in the next 3 to 5 or the next 3, I think the Cavs are getting another parade.
I think your Bengals. So you have the Bengals like neck even because you have the Bengals ahead of them.
Yeah.
All right. Bake.
Gosh, this is hard because there's part of me that wants to say the Bengals.
Yep.
But I don't know if I trust ownership. There's part of me that wants to say the Reds, but I definitely don't trust ownership.
No.
And there's part of me that wants to say the Blue Jackets, but part of me feels like that might be my fandom in there. But gosh, I really trust the man we just had on, Don Waddell. And what's in the pipeline here for the Blue Jackets. I think I'm going to lean Bengals here at number 3, though, just because I have that much damn faith in Joe Burrow.
So you and I remain lockstep. So I have Bengals 3 as well. They're 3 on mine. They have big questions defensively, but if you have Higgins, Chase, Burrow, then I'll roll the dice on the rest of it. And if they would have got in, I don't think anybody would want to play them. So I have them 3 as well on mine. Who do you have at 4, Reese?
At 4, I have the Cleveland Guardians.
Okay. Bake, who do you have?
So this is, do I trust the talent and the pitching? I can't go Cincinnati Reds here. I'm going to go Columbus Blue Jackets. I want to go Reds, but gosh, I just don't trust that front office.
I don't trust ownership.
It's a little bit terrifying how lockstep Bake and I are because I have Blue Jackets 4 as well. I have the Blue Jackets 4 on this list as over the next 3 years being in the mix.
And this was not planned at all.
This was not. No, none of this was. No, we did this off the top of the head. All right, so number 5 for you, Reese.
I have the Columbus Blue Jackets.
All right, CBJ 5. Bake?
All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going Cincinnati Reds at 5. Sorry, Guardians fans. I know there's a better history with them, but I'm going Reds.
All right,
and this is an easier division, man.
This is where we divert. So I've got Guardians here.
Okay.
I got Guardians in this spot at number 5 for me. Who do you have at number 6, Reese?
I have the Cincinnati Reds.
Okay. Bake?
I will go Cleveland Guardians.
So another switch here. I have the Browns here. And the reason I have the Browns here is they still have a lot of those pieces. If they hit the lottery at quarterback, it can flip really quickly. Look at Washington. They still have a ton of talent. And what I know is that ownership will do whatever is necessary if there is a chance to improve the team financially. They will do whatever. They've proven that. And they missed on the Watson thing, but the intent of the Watson thing is what I think you would want ownership to be, which is there is a chance to improve this team. We will stop at nothing to make sure that we do. That being said, without a quarterback, that's why you're down on this list. It's very difficult, and right now they don't have one for the future. So 6 for you guys is both Brownies?
Correct.
Or 7, rather.
Yeah.
It'd be 7. I think if you had said 5 years, I might have had it flipped with the Reds because in 5 years, Ellie De La Cruz will not be in Ohio's Queen City, and the Browns will be free and clear of the Deshaun Watson debacle, more so than they would be in 3.
Yeah, it just came down to a little bit for me. It just came down to ownership, and I just need to see it with Castellini to see that they're going to go. I mean, you've got arguably the most exciting professional athlete in the state. I mean, like it's Ellie and, Jamar Chase and Myles Garrett. I mean, he's right there. Donovan Mitchell, he's certainly one of them. It's just a matter of will they take full advantage of that right now.
And the reason I didn't have the Reds higher, Bo, was exactly what you just said there.
Yeah.
We all were clamoring, Reds fans, go get a true, real power bat this offseason. Your window is now. This Reds starting pitching staff is really good. Hunter Green has arguably been, until this past weekend, I think he was the best pitcher in baseball this year. Yeah. The star power of Ellie De La Cruz and whatnot. Just go get a power bat. And this is what we're seeing. When this offense is good, they can put up 24 runs. But there's a lot of zeros, a lot of struggles with this offense so far this year. Heading into this past weekend, they were batting 200. The management had a chance to go get a real impact middle-of-the-order power bat, and they didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And that's what it comes down. Here's the thing, though. I think you could make this argument. You think about in any of the decades or years we could have been doing this show, and if you rank them, you can make a case for all of them. Like, there's nobody here who's like, it's hopeless. It's not that with any of the 7.
I'm pretty close to hopeless with the Browns.
See what happens in the draft, Bake. You'll be back.
You always do.
Second hour of the program up next. We begin it with The Real Truth. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Ever thought about teeing off in Ohio Stadium? Now is your chance with Upper Deck Golf. Play around in the Shoe, April 24th through 26th. Bring your friends and hit shots from the upper deck onto custom greens on the iconic field below. You'll start and end your round at the stadium clubhouse with great music, cold beverages, food, and interactive golfing challenges. Make it a VIP experience with additional perks, including free entry into driving, chipping, and putting challenges. Tee times will go fast. Register now at upperdeckgolfing.com to book a tee time. That's upperdeckgolfing.com.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off of closing costs. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
I can't wait to meet her! Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Evan Cohen here. We all know breakfast is an important part of your day, but sometimes when you're traveling for business, you end up staying at a hotel that doesn't offer any. You know what happens? You grab a cup of coffee and skip the meal entirely. We've all been there. But if you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you can enjoy their free Bright Side breakfast featuring delicious baked goods, fruit, eggs, yogurt, and waffles. And really, who doesn't want to start their day with a fresh, hot waffle? Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Book direct at lq.com. Evan Cohen here. When the draft clock is ticking, you've got to pick the best talent, regardless of position, to fit your team's needs. Well, if you're hiring for your business, you want to find the best talent for any of your roles. That's why you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology hustles to find qualified candidates for your job immediately. And if you see a standout candidate, ZipRecruiter lets you personally invite them to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. College football's spring transfer portal window is open until Friday. Former Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava committed to UCLA on Sunday. It was reported yesterday his brother Madden, a three-star prospect in the class of 25, will enter the transfer portal with the intent to land at UCLA as well. Madden had just finished up spring ball at Arkansas, where he was an early enrollee. Also on Monday, former App State and UCLA quarterback Joey Aguilar transferred to Tennessee. In baseball last night, the Guardians made it 4 straight with a 6-4 win over the Yankees. Cleveland's going to host New York tonight at 6:10. 6:40 in Miami. The Reds and Marlins go in Game 2. Miami won Game 1 Monday, 6-3. And in the NBA, the Pistons won their first playoff game since 2008, beating the Knicks last night 100-94 in their Game 1 of the first-round series. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Dr. Mark Levy's office a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour of the program. We kick it off a little bit of the real truth. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present The Real Truth.
Sponsored by Diamond Cellar. Over 76 years of experience and guaranteed lowest prices on Sawmill Road or diamondcellar.com.
All right, so he spoke a little quickly there, but as you heard from the update anchor, both Iamaleavas will be at quarterback for UCLA, or be quarterbacking some form or fashion UCLA in the next couple of years. You'll have Nico this season and then Madden maybe next season or a season after that. You had Joey Aguilar, a quarterback who had landed out of the portal in Westwood, now going from UCLA to Tennessee.
Real quick, just so everybody understands. So Aguilar was the quarterback at App State. He transferred to UCLA to be the starting quarterback at UCLA after Dante Moore, who transferred to Oregon last year when Chip left UCLA to become the offensive coordinator here. Aguilar was the quarterback in waiting at UCLA. Iamaleava decides he's going to transfer in, and now Aguilar is going to go to Tennessee and be the quarterback in Tennessee. So a California quarterback who got $8 million to sign playing in Tennessee is now traveling back to go to UCLA, where he will make significantly less, as much as 7 figures less from what he was going to make at Tennessee to quarterback UCLA. Meantime, the guy who played in Boone, North Carolina at Appalachian State is going to go just one state north to Tennessee and quarterback the Vols. So all that happened yesterday. And by the way, I don't think it's the real truth that Madden will ever take a snap for UCLA. I think the odds of that are slim and none, would be my guess of that. So go ahead, Reese.
The Iamaleava brothers will never win a game against Ohio State. Is that the real truth?
That's the real truth.
0-1 so far.
That's the real, yeah. 0-1 so far. Much more to come. That UCLA program is just a mess. And you think about trying to now foster that and lead it. And I just think that they have lost as big as you can lose in this. And I don't know. I don't blame the kids. I think it's the parents. It's the dad. It's all of it. It's the people that are representing them. But it just feels like they're almost like public enemy number one in college football. I don't know that they deserve that. I think that, look, you want to take advantage of the circumstances, but you better have sound advice. And they got really poor advice here because Nico could have just stayed being the quarterback at Tennessee. They would have been a top 25 team. He would have made a couple $1 million. Now he's going to make half that at UCLA reportedly, and he's going to quarterback a worse team. I mean, he was in the playoff year one as a starter. So it's an incredible loss for his career, what transpired here over the last month. And it's just one of those instances where they just really overplayed their hand and did not have good information.
We're in L.A.
Yeah, my eyes went cross-eyed, Bo, when you were talking and doing that all. He went to here, and he went to here, and then he followed them here. And, oh, my goodness, it's just like a game of Pong from back in the day. But this is absolutely the real truth. Like, I don't know when the dust settles on all this if you'll ever hear of Nico Iamaleava again. Like, I don't know if you ever hear his name again because he is going, as you mentioned, to a worse team. What are the chances that they win 5 games next year? And his brother, who knows if it'll be the same? He went to Arkansas and then transferred to UCLA. Who knows if he'll be the quarterback in waiting? Who knows if he's good enough? It's just a mess, and you can't blame this kid. Like we talked about when it happened. The rules are the rules. Yeah. He's playing within the rules. Unfortunately for him, he's the first to do it, and it's not going to work well for him because they overplayed their hand. He's not going to get as much money. This is his only chance maybe to ever make money playing football, and unfortunately he just lost some of that, and he lost a lot of notoriety because being the quarterback at Tennessee right now is a whole hell of a lot better than the quarterback at UCLA.
Yeah, he's going to get better weather, and that's probably the extent of the improvements for him. Everything else is downturn. You ask, is UCLA going to win 5 games? They open with Utah, then they're at UNLV, New Mexico at home, then at Northwestern, then it's Penn State, at Michigan State, Maryland, at Indiana, Nebraska, here against the Buckeyes, closing home close against Washington, and then at USC. That screams 5 wins to me. Is what that screams to me. Yeah, it's tough, man. The younger brother was at Arkansas. He was an early enrollee. He went through spring football, then left. That's it. Crazy. Yeah.
This is, I think, going to be looked at as worse parenting than the Ball family.
Well, the Ball family won.
Right.
I mean,
2 in the NBA.
Lonzo was the number 2 overall pick in the draft. The second one does some rap stuff that my kids are familiar with. And then LaMelo what was he picked? 2nd or 3rd? And has already gotten a 2nd contract. So the Ball family's kind of won. Those kids kind of were all of what Old Man Ball said they would be. They've kind of done all of it.
They did. I think Lonzo, though, I think we'd talk about him. He was having a pretty good career. People just crapped on him a little bit because of his dad, and he did get hurt, but he was a pretty good player in the NBA. Maybe not a number 2 overall pick in the draft, and I think people just kind of wrote him off because of his dad.
Well, he went number 2 overall to the Lakers. Jason Tatum went 3 to the Celtics, so that's kind of the bitter pill there on that. But the one thing that I would say is, like, who knows what Lonzo would have been had he not gotten hurt so badly. Like, he's the one who really got hurt, and he was a great player at UCLA. And LaMelo's off to a nice start. This isn't that. This is going to be a long road for them to dig out of this.
Each college football team that changed the spring game format in 2025 will return to the traditional spring game format in 2026. Is that the real truth?
I didn't know Alabama and Texas did this too.
I remember hearing
USC and Nebraska. I didn't know Alabama and Texas went away from spring game.
I remember hearing Texas, but I do not remember ever seeing anything about Alabama.
Here's what this would be my advice to the college football teams that switched the spring game format to spring showcase or whatever. First of all, you're overthinking it. Like we talked about this yesterday with Matt Rule, really overthinking it. Like it's just way overthinking it. Just follow the Ohio State lead on this. I mean, that's what they did. Like, it wasn't going well with spring showcase, so a couple of weeks before they flipped it, became spring game, and they put on a hell of a show. I mean, our quarterbacks threw it 61 times in that game. I think you can put on a heck of a show that the fans want to see. I still think people will go to spring games if you just keep that. People want to see a game. They want to see competition. And there's a ton of guys on these rosters who need snaps. So, yeah, I think it is the real truth that you will get back to a spring game format kind of across the board. I also think it's possible by maybe not by 26, but certainly by 27 that you could see teams playing other teams in their spring games. I think that's in play too.
Yeah, I think it is the real truth. I think they're going to realize that these things mean more to their fans than they think it does. And, we saw it here at Ohio State. Usually a spring game has 70,000, 80,000 people there with decent weather. And this year, what was it? In the mid 40,000 because I believe they switched the branding on it and said it was going to be a spring showcase and not a game. And you saw them the last week or so really change on that and say, hey, it's going to be a spring game. They did the quick media tour to try to get more people there because these are things that they can use to help their NIL moving forward. So, yeah, I think all of them will move back when they realize they lost out on some opportunities.
The Detroit Pistons will eliminate the New York Knicks in the first round in 7 games. Is that the real truth?
No, I don't think it is. I think the Knicks I think most of this will hold firm. That was the first playoff win for the Pistons in forever last night.
Since 2008, right? Yep.
Yeah, been a long, long time since they did it. Cunningham's a stud. They've got some really nice young players. It's cool to see them back in it. But I do think that home court, New York, they'll hold firm. And I think that's honestly the NBA is praying for that, and the television partners. I mean, if you could draw it up, you'd want Knicks, Celtics, and you'd want Cavaliers. Probably Bucks is probably what you would want that to be is Cavs and Bucks, although I think the Pacers are going to go ahead and win that. But that's what you'd be rooting for is Celtics Knicks in round 2.
Yeah, I don't think this is the real truth, but I will say I did not realize how good of a basketball team the Detroit Pistons were this year. We knew that they had some players for a while because when you draft that high for so many years, you're going to get some guys. And Cade Cunningham has kind of turned into a superstar after a not-so-great start with them. But they've added some good veterans on that team, too, with Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr., a steadying presence, Dennis Schroeder as well, Malik Beasley. So that is a better basketball team than I realized. And a good job out of J.B. Bickerstaff after losing his job in Cleveland last year, going up there and really helping this Pistons team kind of stabilize. I think this is going to be a fun series.
Yeah, I hope so. I think there's some old school nature to it when you talk Pistons and Knicks, so hopefully you get a little bit of a run out there. What we're going to play for you next is one of the most lack of self-aware statements maybe I've ever heard in professional sports. We'll have it for you coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring is here, and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get your mulch ready for the season. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Whether it's mulch, soil, or even stone, we've got your yard covered. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your garden with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here to let you know that Clayton Home's Go Big and Go Home sales event is going on now. Go big this year with a new, affordable, energy-efficient, modern manufactured home. Clayton Homes is changing the way homes are built, making them affordable to buy and cost less to live in. Every Clayton-built home uses quality products from the world's most trusted brands and comes equipped with energy-smart features for year-round comfort and a lifetime of savings. The craftsmen at Clayton build their homes in state-of-the-art facilities to protect your new home from the elements during construction. Clayton Homes and Freedom Homes are ready to help you find your dream home. They're here to help answer all of your questions, from floor plans to design features. Check out their fully furnished new home models and see all the options available to create the perfect home for you. For a limited time, you can save even more on select homes during Clayton Homes Go Big and Go Home sales event. Don't wait. This event ends April 30th. Visit the local Clayton Homes near you or browse their limited time deals at gobigandgohomesale.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
Men over 40, struggling with low energy, not feeling like yourself. Low T Center's testosterone replacement therapy is the solution. Get started today. Visit one of their conveniently located clinics, meet a medical provider, and get back to feeling your best. This April only, the consultation is free. Treatment is tailor-made just for you, and it's covered by most major insurance. Get treated at one of the Low T Centers or from home. Why wait? Book your appointment now at lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
As Ohio lawmakers continue to hammer out the details of the next state budget, they need to hear from you about why fully and fairly funding Ohio's public schools is so important. Please call your state senator today. Together, we can achieve our vision of the excellent public schools all Ohio students deserve.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Lots of sun in the forecast today. It is going to be a great day to get things done outdoors. Highs right around the low 70s with mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy tonight with our temperatures dropping to right around 50. And then for Wednesday, we warm up even more with highs right around 80 degrees and lots of that sunshine. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and we are brought to you and sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. One of the most shocking trades in recent sport memory occurred this season when the Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Doncic, kind of without really engaging other NBA teams. It just kind of did it for what felt like kind of half his value. Sent shockwaves throughout the league. The Lakers are obviously still playing. Dallas is not. The man responsible for making that trade was the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, Nico Harrison. Now, he did something yesterday, which I guess all of these front office types have to do, and it was coming on the heels of about a week ago. He had a meeting with reporters that was supposed to be like no recorders, no cameras, just a talk. And then yesterday he had a press conference. Okay, so he had a post because they lost and they're out of the postseason. So he had a postseason press conference, and in that postseason press conference, he said this:
"Did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level, but really the way we looked at it is, you know, if you're putting a team on the floor that's Kyrie, Clay, PJ, Anthony Davis, and Lively." We feel that's a championship caliber team, and we would have been winning at a high level, and that would have quieted some of the outrage. And so unfortunately we weren't able to do that, so it just continued to, go on and on.
Is that defensible? That you're the general manager for a professional sports team, and you have one of the, by most people's estimation, one of the 3 untradeable players in the NBA. There might be 3 or 4. Like Bill Simmons always does this trade value column that he does, and Luka's always in the top 5 of like, no, we're not taking calls. And they not only they take calls, they did the deal. They did the deal without seeing if anybody else in the league would want to do the deal. And his defense of it is, I didn't realize how popular Luka was with the fans. I don't know, maybe open your eyes at a game and just see how many 77 jerseys are there, and the fact that you just were in the finals last year. How is that possible that somebody in their media training group allowed for him to have that be the defense of this? Who is running media relations for the Mavericks? What are you doing?
I wonder if he meant to say, I didn't realize how important Luka was to this fan base. Not still indefensible to even say anything remotely close to that, because you have two eyeballs and a brain, you will see it. I do think the more and more this goes, and the weirder and weirder decisions have been from Nico, from management, that Nico didn't have any say in this decision to trade Luka. He's just been the guy to take the slings and arrows for ownership. Because if a general manager goes out of his way to do something like this, and it fails as spectacularly as it has failed in its early return of Anthony Davis coming over, but they get dismissed in the play-in, you're also losing your job as the general manager. But the fact that he's still keeping his job, and he was forced to do that closed-door press conference. He was forced to do their Mavericks post-mortem. Mm-hmm. He's just the body. He is Dallas's ownership's meat shield.
So I love Conspiracy Eric. I like when Conspiracy Reese is in the mix. I think this conspiracy feels kind of on point. I don't know why in the hell ownership would think that they should trade him, and how they would be so clueless about his popularity. Maybe if you believe some of the reporting, there was fear of him getting, drinking too much beer and being out of shape and living the high life in Dallas on the contract. But I don't know. Even if he did that last year, they did it in the finals. Wasn't Nico the one who took the beer out of his hand?
Yes.
Yes.
Wasn't that him?
Yes. So I think they won the Western Conference Finals, and Luka's enjoying a beer
with his dad, right?
In the locker room, and Nico takes it from him.
Reese, you're probably right for this, that this guy is a fall guy for ownership here. And we heard that ownership wanted to try to force them to build a new stadium, or they were going to move the team, yada, yada, whatever. I don't know how any of that makes sense without your star best player. But these comments alone are a fireable offense, right? Like, even if you didn't realize that, the fact that you come out and said it, like, you've got to be like, listen, we understand. We thought this was what was best for the team, not only now, but moving forward into the future. You've got to put the PR spin on it. And to just come out here and sound like you're totally clueless is just an absolutely fireable offense.
Do you know where he went to college? Without looking?
I hope it's Michigan.
I think... No, it started at West Point. It finished at Montana State.
Oh, boy.
What the hell, man?
Making you guys look bad.
He was gone before I got... But my God. Holy smokes. For a second, I looked at him like, my God, did I call a Montana State game that he played in? But that didn't happen until I did that in 2000. So that'd be long after. He was done by 96. Go ahead, Reese.
So it wasn't Nico that took the beer. It was Michael Finley, the Mavericks VP of basketball operations.
Oh, the former Maverick great who played for Wisconsin. So he took the beer from him?
Man,
why would you do that? What a weird! I thought that was weird at the time, and I think this was weird. So then this conversation continues, and the reporters pressed him a little bit on why he shouldn't be fired. Let's listen to that exchange.
Why shouldn't you be fired?
Well, one, I think I've done a really good job here, and I don't think I can be judged by the injuries this year. You have to judge from totality, from beginning to end. And so I think I have a really good working relationship with Patrick. I think you add in Rick. The leadership that we have is really elite. And you'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship.
I disagree with the first thing right out of the gates when he says you can't judge us by injuries. You acquired the most injury-prone player in the league. So Anthony Davis's first game was incredible, and then he got hurt in that game. And so he came back, but Kyrie's been injury-prone. Like, the idea that you would roll the dice on injury-prone players that are aging in the case of Kyrie and Anthony Davis is pretty wild. I just think the big picture part of this is, and this is something for the PR firms and the PR and all of these professional sports teams, the ones near us, the ones around the country. There's a lesson here in the power of the fan. And I do think that they have to be very careful, because the power of the fan is the power to show up or not. And there was a time probably 30 years ago where that's what you did. You went to pro sporting events, like regardless. Like that was a social activity. You went to the games. People bought season tickets and they went to the games, whether it was NFL or NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball. You bought season tickets. There are fewer and fewer people across professional sports who are buying season tickets. They're picking the games that they want to go to, and they're going to those games. They may be paying a premium if they have to on them, but they're willing to do that rather than lock themselves in to, in the case of the NBA, 41 games. In the case of the NHL, 41 games. They're buying ticket packages, groups of games, 10 games here, 10 games there. And what they have the power to do is say, yeah, we're good. Because all of this can be consumed on television. The television experience, the stay-at-home experience is spectacular. And the amenities at the stay-at-home experience are spectacular. I'm not just talking about proximity to bathroom or snacks or any of that. I'm talking about a lot of people watch things on two screens. I'm sure you guys do that all the time. Reese, you just talked about that. You did that on Sunday. You watched the Cavs game on one screen. You watched WrestleMania on the other. Like, that is part of what I think will become the normal, for better or worse, the normal viewing experience. My kids do it all the time. The game's on, but they're scrolling until I pull the phones, or we'll have a game on one TV and they'll watch a show on another. Like, this is just where we're at, and you don't have to go to games anymore. And when you make a decision like the one that they made, and the ones that other organizations in our state have to make from time to time, you feel it in the biggest possible way in terms of the gate. That season ticket lists aren't there the way that they used to. There aren't people just dying to go to these games the way that they used to. If you put a great product on the court, on the ice, on the field, boy, will they show up. And it'll be a thing to do. But if you are disconnected to your fan base as a professional sports team in the year 2025, they will turn on you as fast. They don't need to be loyal to you anymore. Not with their pocketbook. The rooting interest can remain, but the pocketbook can stop. And I think that's what happened in Dallas. And it's wild to me. Absolutely wild to me. I didn't realize how big of a deal Luka was. Really? How's that possible? He's not inconspicuous. Pretty noticeable. Big dude wearing 77. Best player on the court most of the time. Might want to know a little bit about what makes him tick. Do a little Tuesdays with Deberry in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Guess what? It's driving season, friends, and my friends at Jermaine Lexus are ready for you with their most popular models on the lot and ready to go with special APRs as low as 3.99% up to 48 months, or 4.49% up to 60 months with low lease payments starting at $389 per month on the 2025 NX. And if you're looking for a TX, they're finally available for immediate delivery. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
Did you know even the smallest increase in mortgage rates can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan? Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. It's true, even a 0.25% change in rate can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your mortgage. But with Third Federal's new Early Rate Lock, you don't have to take chances. Early Rate Lock is the only pre-approval that locks in your rate at pre-approval, even before you find a house. Plus, we're so confident that our rates are the lowest, if you find a lower rate, we'll beat it or give you $1,000. And now through April 30th, get pre-approved with Third Federal and we'll pay all of your closing costs. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today.
Right now at Third Federal, even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-THIRD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down per $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. Zero closing costs on low-cost loans only. See conditions for lowest rate guarantee at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
Guys, what's up? It's Matty Ice, and I'm here with Wendy's. And if you're looking for your next sandwich love, check out the Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich. This sandwich really has me feeling the heat, and it's packed with bold Cajun flavors that add that perfect little kick. Plus, it's topped with crispy onions that give it a satisfying crunch in every single bite. And did I mention this is all on top of Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich? So if you love that, you have to get your hands on this Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich before it's gone. For that little extra kick, it's got to be Wendy's. Open until midnight or later.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bishop and Friends present Tuesdays with Tiberi.
All right, little Tuesdays with Deberry on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Did you hear my story about Buddy Garrity and the Amazon driver?
No, what happened?
So he, Amazon driver delivered a package and then was walking away. My wife was outside, and Buddy came running up, kind of barking, bouncing. Amazon driver kind of went a little bit nuts and waving arms and all of these things, which I think Buddy took as a cue to time to play. She was actually a little bit scared, and you have a golden retriever, so you're very aware of how friendly they are, but they are a bigger animal for sure. And she smoked him with a cell phone, like hit him right in the face.
Oh, my gosh.
Which led to my wife, getting into it. It all ended up okay, but I told my wife I was on the delivery driver's side of this, that it's up to us to not have the dog be near. It feels like much of the reaction I've gotten from the listeners and from the folks on YouTube is that maybe Buddy Garrity deserved a little bit more grace. How would you play that situation out?
Well, you got to understand, first of all, this is my first round with golden retrievers, and you were over my house, and you were like the dog whisperer. We're trying to put a diaper on the thing. Anyways.
That happened. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. That happened. Anyways, let me just tell you something, my friend. Right now, the dog is blowing its coat. I mean,
that's fun,
I have never seen hair. I did not know what I was getting into. This dog, I mean, the other day I tried to comb it out, and there was hair everywhere. It's ridiculous. So I took it to the groomer. They did it, and she said, yeah, it'll be good, and then you're going to have to keep combing because she's going to really blow it now, because she wasn't kidding. I'm making sweaters for everyone for Christmas. Anyways, here's my take. I did not realize what I was getting into. I didn't realize what I was getting. They're part kangaroo, these Goldens. And when they're young, they're part kangaroos. And, yes, they love everyone. They don't have a mean – but I do see – there's people like me. I've never wanted a big dog because I'm scared of dogs.
Yeah.
And I can understand if you're like coming up and you're afraid. So, yes, it is on us to contain our dogs.
That's what I think. That's what I say.
I mean, yeah. I mean, everyone, well, it's a dog. Come on. Not everyone likes dogs. Not everyone likes snakes. How would you feel? Well, yes, there's a certain group of people that, walk around with, like boas wrapped around them. Oh, would you like to pet my snake? No, I don't. I don't like snakes.
I cannot tell if you just describe certain parts of our town or the Everglades, because I don't know where people are walking around with snakes around their neck saying, do you want to pet my snake?
Okay, Google search pet snake.
No, I'm not doing that.
Go ahead.
That will leave an algorithm that I don't need showing up on my social media.
Listen, let me just tell you.
Do you want to pet my snake?
Let me just tell you something.
I'm not going to Google that.
Every day, see, unlike you, when I drive around my city, I keep my head up and I look at what's around my surroundings. And yes, you will see all this stuff. The other day, I don't know what was going on, but I was downtown and I thought I was at Disney World. There were like 100 people on the sidewalk dressed up in costumes. Like
furries?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what it was, but I'm like, oh, look at it. I'm waving at them. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, nice to see you,
Great.
Chippendale.
It was a lot of that. So, yeah, no, I looked. But, no, there is a thing. If you Google search, snakes. Yeah, and then they have these reptile shows. They do them all the time.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there are
people in Florida.
Can you people listening right now, if you're a snake person, can you send Bo and I a message on Twitter and send us pictures of your baby snakes?
No, I don't need that.
No, I think you'd like to see that. There's some people that have gators. I'm going to get me an alligator. And they get gator, and then what happens? It gets a little bigger, and they flush it down the toilet, and that's why there's gators in our sewers.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I don't think there are gators in our sewers.
No,
by the
there
way.
are.
We
There
continue
are.
to live in Ohio. I don't think there's gators in our sewers. I don't think there's snakes in the Olentangy or sharks in the Olentangy either. I think you're fine.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
think that
Let me
you're gonna
tell
have
you
any
what.
issues.
They could survive. I told you this. Search bull
what could
shark.
survive?
There's a
Bull
bull
sharks?
shark. The bull shark. Anywhere. They swam up the Mississippi River and they caught them in not in New Orleans, in Minnesota. I'll send you a picture. They caught a bull shark in Minnesota. They live in fresh
Lake Winnipesaukee?
I'm telling you. Yeah. I'm
Lake
telling
Minnetonka?
you. Yes. They got them up there. They had one.
That's a long swim.
No kidding. But that's what they do. They just swim and eat. They go to the food. They attack. Jaws is liberally based on two attacks.
Yeah.
One in New Jersey where they think it was probably bull sharks. And then there was a bull shark that swam up the Mississippi, got into a tributary of Iowa, and attacked people. It attacked
Starving,
them.
probably.
Well,
if that happened.
Well,
I don't know that
they're
I believe
eating.
it.
They're in there eating anything they want. That's what they do. They got more testosterone than any animal in the animal kingdom.
Now, you got tricked into the ocean last summer, though.
Never again. My son tricked me. It will never happen again. I don't do that stuff. I got a lot of phobias. And that's why I do thing on TV called Things Dom Won't Do. Like, I'm not jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. We've got this wonderful producer, Laura. She just went down south or wherever, Africa or whatever, and she jumped
Tennessee,
off,
Africa, all the same.
She jumped off a bridge and bungee jumping.
bungee?
Yeah, why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't have that in me.
I mean, do you have any of that?
Yeah, I don't do any of that. I'm not bungee jumping. I'm not jumping out of a plane.
Where you're from, your people are a little squirrely. Hey, let's go ride a bull.
Well,
that's a lot of fun. Yeah, let's
it's for sport.
Yeah, any sport that involves farm animals, I'm out.
Listen, you would thrive doing that. You own a pair of boots. Remember, you and I went to Gillies in Dallas, and there was a mechanical bull there that I think you could have thrived on.
Yeah, no, I did that one time, and I broke my pelvis. Let me tell you something.
That was the end of it.
Yes. When we went to the stockyards, and you're
talking.
Yeah, remember? And they had that Brahma bull there, and you're like, hey, why don't we sit on it? Yeah.
You did.
I know.
It was nice. That was fine.
Oh, yeah, it was really great. I don't need any sport involving farm animals. I mean,
what? Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What shows are you into right now?
Right now, what I watch?
What are you watching? You got any good shows you're watching?
Tulsa King is fabulous.
Is that good?
Yeah.
With Stallone?
Yeah, you would love it.
Okay.
You would love it. It's what you think.
He's believable. I feel like it would be what I want.
Oh no, it's fabulous. And some of the stuff, it is The Sopranos go to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. The way he handles himself. There's a scene you'll love the scene. I'll send you the clip where he's in a jail.
Okay.
And he teaches this guy how to take care of himself.
Now, can I watch? Will the blonde watch this? Do you watch it with the bride?
Yeah, I think your wife would like it. It's well written, and I just think I really enjoy it.
See, I'm a little bit hesitant with all the Taylor Sheridan stuff because I think he really screwed up the end of Yellowstone, and he really screwed up season 2 of 1923.
They had a feud.
Who had a feud?
He had a feud with Costner.
No, I know.
I mean,
I know.
That's why.
Landed the plane.
I mean, that's and they did not stick the landing with that. All of a sudden, the toughest guy in Montana committed suicide. I don't think so.
No, I don't think that.
I don't think that did not play. I mean, come on.
No.
I mean, and I think that was spiteful, just to
Yeah.
I did not like.
I just heard from Fish. Fish says I'd like Tulsa King too. So that's you and Fish are both saying Tulsa
Fish.
King.
Yeah. Well, Fish is an intelligent man. He walks around. He does not act like he's intelligent. He just acts like a regular guy. But he is one of the most intelligent, thoughtful people you would ever meet.
That should be
and
on his answering
and he's
machine
got
right there.
a little
Just
bit of
record
look.
that.
I'm into that music group Disturbed. Have you seen them?
No, I don't know. Yeah, I know that.
The lead singer, it's Fish's twin brother.
Disturbed lead singer.
Yeah, David Draymond.
How do you know all this?
Because I read, because I'm not an idiot. I try to stay educated.
I read, I'm not an idiot. You just said that a producer of yours went south to bungee jump, and then it said it was the South or it could have been Africa.
What?
You have bull sharks in Lake Minnetonka, And yet the pushback is that you read and you're not an idiot.
That's right.
This
You
is
know,
all
you
one
can
segment.
go one way on a shark. You go one way on a shark, it's as smooth as a baby's butt. You go the other way, and it's little razor blades, because on the shark's skin, it's teeth. Covered in teeth. Many teeth.
I'm not worried about them. I don't think they're
They
aggressive at all.
urinate through their skin. So that's why you don't eat shark. That's why I don't get in the ocean. I don't mess with them. They don't mess with me.
You keep your distance.
Absolutely.
Wait, what do you got? What's going on now? What do you?
Well, there's a thing called the NFL draft coming up, and
are you going to go to Green Bay? Do some live shots?
No, I'm not. But anyways,
Adam King, is he going?
Well, we might drive. If we go, we're driving.
You're driving to Green Bay? How far is that?
Oh, it's not bad. It's like 12,
Tell you what.
14, 18
Give my
hours.
buddies at RCDRV a call. They'll hook you up. You get yourself one of those sprinters, and you'll zip you right over there.
A little sprinter, actually.
You and I should do that. You want to do that? Like get one of those motorhomes and take the show on the road
I
for a
think
week?
that would be fabulous, and we could get Klug to
Go on
drive
adventures?
us. The Kaiser to drive us.
Jeez, is he still is he still up for that?
He's
Is he
out
up for
walking
driving?
around. You know how he walks.
Well,
he leads.
a lot of pelvic first.
Yes. he's but anyways, no, the NFL draft, and I was just asking, what are the Browns going to do? And I wanted to ask you, because I'm on this bandwagon. I think they should draft Will Howard. I want
at 2?
No, not at 2, but
okay.
I mean,
Well, sometimes
I think,
with you, I never know.
Although I think, you know what? As smart as everyone thinks they are when it comes to the NFL draft and all this stuff, the greatest quarterback that the two greatest quarterbacks the league ever had, when were they picked? Were they first-round picks?
No, 6th.
Yeah. Joe Montana and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that, all their analytics. You know, the greatest thing ever, I remember I was talking to Pete Rose one day, and he was talking about athleticism and being an athlete and being a competitor versus all the analytics.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I want you to think about something. If Major League Baseball was scouting me today, they wouldn't give me the time of day because I couldn't run that fast. I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, what did I do? I'm the greatest hitter ever. And he goes, they all want jockeys. They all want these sprinters and all this stuff. But my question is, he goes, when I was a manager, can he play the game? Can he play baseball? Yeah. And it's like all these analytics they're doing and everything. If I am a scout, I'm looking at the guys that won the national title for Ohio State, and that's why I think there will be 15 guys drafted and they'll tie Georgia. Yeah. Those guys can play. Yeah. And Will Howard is a gamer. I love that kid. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to play a long time in the league, and I think he's got a chance to be a real good one. I really do.
Well, I appreciate you. Good chat as always. We'll do it again next week.
Yeah, it kind of went off the rails a little bit.
No, that's how you need it. That's what a Tuesdays with Tiberi should be. It should be always off the rails.
I appreciate it. You learned a lot about the bull shark today. You got to admit.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Yeah. I look forward to investigating that.
And I'll send you Disturbed.
No snakes. I don't need to touch.
I'm going to send you that, and then Disturbed. David Draymond singing "Sound of Silence."
No, I'm good. But
no, you need to see that.
No, I'm good. I'll see you.
Bank is looking. He's giving me thumbs up. He's seen it.
He's all for it.
Goodbye.
We'll do a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with The Fan. Eat lunch with The Fan. Go to bed with The Fan. Dream about The Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Find everyday savings and bargains on produce, meat, and more. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting long-term lower prices. With our weekly sales, deals for days promotions, and My Perks loyalty program, Giant Eagle helps make the most out of every shopping trip. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle and Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
1-800-GOT-JUNK makes space for possibilities.
When our clean, shiny truck arrives, it's the sign of a new beginning, a clean start, a breath of fresh air.
All the animals start giggling, a rainbow appears, and music fills the air.
Your best friend calls with happy news. Every table has fresh flowers on it, and your nights are full of candlelight.
We bring the springtime.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Montana, Bettis, Horning, and Brown, some of the greatest of all time, kicked off their careers in South Bend. You can celebrate Notre Dame football's impact on the professional game by visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton to experience gold helmet to gold jacket now through April 27th. And register to win our grand prize at 971thefan.com/gold jacket. One winner will receive 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame game enshrinement ceremony presented by Novartis and the Hall of Fame Museum. That's 971thefan.com/gold jacket.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Hey friends, Beamer here. And nope, I'm not passing out draft predictions today. I'm making a bolder prediction, an opportunity, one might say. How about setting a goal to lose 40 pounds by the 4th with Awaken 180? Has a different ring to it when you have a finish line, right? 40 by the 4th. Imagine this. Your scale shows 230 today. How about watching that bad boy dip to a cool 190 by Independence Day? Or maybe it's reading over 300 like my scale did. How would it feel being 260 by the 4th and on your way to losing 70 pounds? Again, like I did with Awaken 180. Looking back, it took me only 8 weeks to drop my first 40 pounds, and with the same results, you'll crush that goal by the 4th. Then ring Independence Day in, shirt off, confident, crack beer, and a burger in hand. You can celebrate reaching your goal knowing you're going to keep the weight off, all thanks to Awaken 180's free support for life. Again, 40 by the 4th may seem crazy, but you can definitely do it. Set your goal and attain it with your long-term solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody. Work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Tuesday edition. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
All right, so we'll have a lot more about the changes that the NCAA is proposing and just changes to college athletics coming out in the next hour. But I saw this from a friend of the program, Amanda Kristovich of Front Office Sports, who has a story out at Front Office Sports that the NCAA has thrown extra resources toward lobbying during the first few months of the Trump administration. It spent $450,000 on federal lobbying in the first quarter of 2025 per disclosure, and that's double what it spent in the same period last year. Thing or not a thing?
Well, it's a thing. And Paul talked about this a couple of weeks ago on the show when we talked to him about it. And there is real belief in the NCAA that the combination of this administration and controlling the two branches of Congress the way that they do, that there would be a way to put some guardrails and some stricter penalties on and enforcement on NIL. I think it's wishful thinking. I do. But that's their thinking, and their hope is that they can get something done relatively quickly here. So I don't think much is going to come of it. We'll see. I just think there's too many things on the federal government's plate to try to tackle this issue. The thing you have to remember with it, and we'll, as you mentioned there, Reese, we'll get into it a little bit later at greater length, there are state laws in place in a lot of these places already that I don't know how you'd circumvent it or get around it. So, but it does speak to, they think there's an opportunity here and they're willing to put money behind it.
You guys know whenever this subject comes up, it just makes me cringe. I hate government in sports. Like you said, Bo, they've got way too many things that they need to worry about, things that, truly matter. Not that sports don't matter, but sports are like an escape for all of us. They're entertainment for all of us. Yeah. There's other things the government needs to be worrying about than fixing the NCAA's problems. Also, I don't know what they can put in place here that hasn't already been beaten in a court of law and won't get beaten in a court of law moving forward. So this really isn't a thing to me.
Speaking on TNT last night, Charles Barkley had some advice for Nico Harrison.
Nico Harrison, I consider you a friend of mine. I wish you nothing but the best. I thought you did a good job last year with the Mavs, and obviously whatever happened this year didn't work out. Man, don't do no more press conferences. Like, I don't even know what you're doing. I really don't. Like, I got sympathy and love for you, but I have zero idea what you're trying to do. This war is over, brother. You got to taking the L. I hope you keep your job. I hope that team get healthy, but man, don't do any more interviews.
Thing or not a thing.
He's right. I mean, that's what we said when we talked about it about a half hour ago. My hunch is that the second one is mandatory. Most professional sports have a debrief presser day, and it's largely something that is done in conjunction with, it would be the Basketball Writers Association, it's the Pro Football Writers Association, I assume it's the Baseball Writers of America, like all of those things. Like, there is long-standing agreement that the general manager or ownership or coach, and sometimes all three, speak at the end of the season. So my guess is that's what the second one was, is he felt obligated to do it. Obviously, it didn't go well when you say some of the things he said. But I think Conspiracy Reese might be onto something, and that the decision was far bigger than him. He was obviously for it, but it was far bigger than him to make the decision that they did.
Yeah, I mean, it's Chuck looking out for his friend here thing, but just don't. If you're going to do the press conference, like you said, it's probably mandatory. Some of these things are mandatory. It's got to be better. Like, where's your PR staff? Where is whoever at the Mavericks that makes sure you don't step in it, making sure that you don't? Because this is, God, that was brutal.
What's the terrible? What if you guys are running Mavericks PR, and you had to do that presser? What would your marching orders to Nico Harrison have been?
I think I said it earlier. Hey, we understand you guys are upset. We understand that Luka was a fan favorite here. This is a move, though, that we think puts us in the best position to succeed moving forward. Sure, it's a total lie, but it sounds way better.
Yeah, you just keep pushing the excitement you have for next year when you can get your full roster healthy, and you look forward to improving the roster in the offseason, whether that be through trades and free agency or the draft or developing your younger guys in your G League. And you do as much as you can to thank Luka for everything he's done for Dallas and for the community. But, yeah, I think you want to move past it as often as possible by just saying we thank him for what he's done. We're focused on building a championship team here.
Yeah, I think it's got to be something along the lines of, and whether you believe it or not, it has to be judge us on this team healthy. I mean, that's what it's got to be. And that we did this to win a championship soon, and it's tough to sell because they were in the finals last year, with him.
Mel Kiper was on Up and Adams with Kay Adams yesterday, and the two had a pretty interesting exchange about Mel's disdain for cell phones.
Here's the lore of Mel Kiper. You have 4 landlines, I hear. I would like to know if it's still 4. You don't like using your cell phone. You keep it in a drawer until you have to leave to places like
It's being charged over there.
Bay.
This is it, Kay. This is the cell phone.
At least I thought it might be some Zach Morris huge Motorola phone.
No, that's our daughter right there. That's Lauren right there.
Oh.
And that's the purple Ravens, I guess, cell phone that I take to the draft.
Yeah.
I throw it in the Jeep. I got a Jeep. Jeep. I got a Jeep, right? I got my red Jeep that I take around the island. So I throw it in there when I go out on the road or do whatever I have to do. But it sits there, and people will text me after the draft, Kay, and they'll say, I never even checked that thing. That thing's gone.
I love this.
It goes back into this drawer, and it's done for the whole year until the draft rolls around, or when I take it out just in case I need it, and I never usually need it, thank God. So it just sits there as well. So, yeah, cell phones is not my deal, never has been, never will be.
I love it.
Thing or not a thing.
I think it's remarkable that Mel Kiper, from basically what we can deduce from that, is he doesn't leave home ever. And we kind of know that, right? Because even all of his remotes, he never goes to Bristol. It's always from his house. So he has such clout and is such on demand that he can do it exactly the way that he wants to. So that is amazing. When he does leave his house, he hops in a red Jeep Wrangler, which I would not have had. Like, that doesn't compute to me. And then the third thing, when he leaves the house, is that's the only time the cell phone leaves the drawer. The fourth thing that's a thing about this is I give Kay Adams a lot of credit. She's one of the few people from there's a real gift in her ability to interview, because she will get people to talk. And they will give her stuff that you don't hear anywhere else. So that's a good job out of her.
I think this is a pretty amazing thing that I am very envious of. I can't believe that Mel Kiper can be in the position that he is and not deal with a cell phone all the time. Like, Schefter's got two in his hands at all times, and we see it whenever he's doing hits on SportsCenter, and he's getting dings while he's on there. We've heard it when he's on with Rothman and Ice. One of my favorite things about my vacation week every summer is my phone really doesn't leave the room. Mm-hmm. So I head down to the beach or the pool. When I need a refill, I'll head up. Maybe I'll check in. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll answer. Maybe I won't. It's my favorite thing about that week, because I feel like with what we do, a phone is so much a part of that nowadays. I love when I can get away from it.
Yeah, I try to, when I'm on vacation, I check it in the morning and at night, and then I leave it the rest of the time just to kind of have some clue of what's going on. But hell, I miss Torts being fired on vacation. So sometimes those things happen. All right, final hour of the program up next. We're going to begin it with some NFL chatter. Peter Schrager, ESPN, with some comments on what could happen at the top of the draft. As of right now, something is happening in the draft that has never happened in the modern draft era. We will give you the details on that, let you know what's happening and what the Browns could be doing at number 2 and who could be calling them. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Men, is good enough really what you want with your sex life? This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if erectile dysfunction is making a bad bedroom experience for you and your partner, you should call us, because you want your intimacy to be fantastic, both for you and the one you love. At Tri-State Men's Health, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we're a medical practice focused on men's sexual health, we can offer many treatment options and even combine treatments to find the right one for you. Which means if you're like most of our patients, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and make a change from good enough to really good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
We have made our community a very important part of our business. One of the things that many people may not realize is that I was born and raised in Columbus. Our plant is in Columbus. All of our employees are from Ohio. And the community hears about all this stuff. And so the community trusts us.
Visit Rosati Windows by the end of this month and get 35% off all windows and doors.
Hey, it's Anthony. Of course, I sit and do the show 3 hours a day. But after that, I'm looking to get things done, enjoy the spring weather. So I want to be on my feet a lot, playing golf, working out, just moving around. I was introduced to the Good Feet store because my feet were aching way too often. And what I found there is a 3-step custom arch support system that has me feeling awesome. My personally fit arch supports have helped realign my feet, reposition my body into a more ideal position, and not only that, strengthen my feet to help support me. It's made all the difference in how I feel every day. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And when you wear them as a system, their arch supports are more effective at long-term pain reduction and elimination. So go in, take the free test walk. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Their products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or at goodfeet.com.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's the whole Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money, it's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The NFL Draft is this week in Green Bay. The Titans have the first overall pick. They'll officially be on the clock Thursday at 8 p.m. The Browns pick at 2. The Giants have the third overall selection. ESPN is reporting Cleveland and New York are fielding calls from other teams looking to trade up in Thursday's first round. In baseball last night, the Guardians made it 4 straight with a 6-4 win over the Yankees. Cleveland will host New York tonight at 6:10. 6:40 in Miami. The Reds and Marlins go in Game 2. Miami won Game 1 of their 3-game set Monday 6-3. In the minors, the Clippers begin a series in Lehigh Valley tonight at 6:45. In the NHL last night, Alexander Ovechkin's overtime goal lifted the Capitals to a 1-0 series lead on the Canadiens. While in Florida Tuesday, the Panthers and Lightning begin their first round series. Face-off from Tampa is 8:30. This update is sponsored by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at GermainToyotaofColumbus.net.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
Oh, for God's sakes, I got Tiberi linking me on social to send Bo your pictures of your snake pics. I'm not fearful of snakes. They're fine in general. I'm not crazy about them. It's birds that I'm fearful of. But I don't want to be linked in any sort of social media post that said, send Bo pictures of your snakes. I don't want that in any way. And yet you can't stop him once he gets on a roll. All right, we have had, so for the first time in the modern draft era, I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, first time in modern draft era, every team in the National Football League has their first round pick. Every team has a pick. Every team has one pick. It's the first time since the late 60s, the modern draft era, that every team has their first-round pick. It's the latest that every team has had their first-round pick since 1993, where 5 days in advance of that draft, the San Francisco 49ers traded Joe Montana to the Kansas City Chiefs for their first-round pick in 1993. So it's the latest that we haven't had any deals or anything, and everyone's had their first-round pick since 1993, and it's the first time in the modern draft era that everybody has their first-round pick, and it's slotted that way. Now, that could change, and that leads us to where we're going to go next, which is this from Peter Schrager, used to be of Good Morning Football, formerly of the NFL Network, and in the last couple of weeks now a member of ESPN. He was on Get Up this morning with some of the things he's hearing in regard to the top of the draft, which, of course, begins on Thursday.
There have been phone calls made to both the Browns at 2 and the Giants at 3 with the intention to move up, from several different sources telling me there are teams who are looking to get up in this draft to either the 2 or the 3 spot. The assumption being to move up to the 2 or the 3 spot, it would be for Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, or the running back Ashton Genty, who everyone expects to go somewhere in that 5 to 7 to 8 range. There have been teams making calls, and those teams are not immediately slamming down the phone. The Browns at 2, the Giants at 3. Everyone assumes it's going to be chalk, that this is going to go Cam Ward, it's going to go Travis Hunter, it's going to go Abdul Carter. Not so fast. I think the 2 spot gets very interesting if the Browns are listening to a Godfather deal for them to trade back and someone to trade up into the top 3.
Do you believe him?
That they're
or
taking
do you think
calls?
There's semantics there.
Well, you'd had this played a week ago, I'd have been like, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they're taking calls at 2. Of course the Titans are probably taking calls at 1. Like, this doesn't feel terribly news-breaking to me, even though I might have mentioned it in the update just a minute or 2 ago. Like, good. I would hope everybody 1 through 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are taking calls on this and seeing how bad do you want to come up, especially for the Browns. Like, they're in a great position because I think every team, all 31 of them, know that Tennessee's going Cam Ward at 1. Mm-hmm. So how bad do you want X player?
And I believe it came out actually late last night or early this morning that the Titans have told Cam Ward they are taking him number 1.
Schefter.
Is that the fake Schefter?
You got Ardnan like Scheftered.
I think it's the fake.
I thought I saw someone that was real, but regardless,
you could have. It very well could be true, but there was a fake Schefter account going around this morning saying that because I almost put it in the prep, and I'm like, then I double checked. It's like, 4,000 followers, not real Schefter.
Regardless, though, everything we've heard is that's the way it's going. Cam Ward at number 1. I would think that the Browns and Giants would be stupid not to be fielding calls, right? You have to see what somebody out there is willing to do, and I think especially the Giants. Not only with Ashton Genty and all the buzz we've heard from him recently, but also I still think this injury to Derek Carr in New Orleans is a big deal with Shedeur Sanders. And maybe he was going to slide, but now I feel like there's going to be teams trying to get back up into the top 10 to draft him.
Could be. I was thinking about the Giants. So from the Cleveland perspective, and he even mentioned there that it starts at 2 with the Browns. Like, what would the Godfather offer be? Like, realistically, let's say somebody wanted Travis Hunter and they wanted to come to 2 to get it. What team would want him, and what would the give back be to the Browns in order for that to happen? Like, it's got to be a team somewhere between 1 and 10. I don't know that they would go any lower than that, and I don't think they'd want to. So who in that 1 to 10 would say, we got to have Travis Hunter?
So I thought about Carolina, and I also kind of thought about San Francisco, because there's a weapon you can get at a rookie contract. And I said, if it's San Francisco, fine, I'll take 11 if I'm the Cleveland Browns, but I'm also getting your 1 next year. Now, the 1 might be in a similar double-digit spot.
It would be, I think.
But that's where I would go. If it's going to be this year from anybody, if you're the Cleveland Browns, it's whatever pick you're given. They're trading spots this year's draft, but I also want your 1 next year.
I don't think the Cleveland Browns can move out of 2 unless it's a path to get them the quarterback of the future. So I don't. San Francisco wouldn't have anybody. They're going to trade Brock Purdy, so they don't. There's nobody on that roster that you would, from a quarterback position, would say, hey, there's a chance here. And you, if you're going to trade out of 2, you'd have to trade to me, you'd have to trade to a bad team, so you could kind of pull what the Bears did, where you ended up with the number 1 overall pick and Justin Fields, because Carolina was so bad in the year with Bryce Young that they ended up getting the number 1 pick 2 years in a row. So like, if I'm were the Browns and you're going to trade out of 2, which I don't think that they should do, if that was the case, I'd be looking at like the Jets. I'd be looking at, anybody, New Orleans, maybe somebody else who you thought, boy, this is going to be a long year for them, and this pick is going to be a good one, because until you get that quarterback of the future, the rest of it's just kind of like on a treadmill a little bit. So if they're going to trade out of 2, it better lead to quarterback of the future.
So I'm not saying that the 49ers and the Browns here, but Reese does make a good point. I heard somebody talking about this yesterday afternoon, saying that the 49ers might be a team to watch in this draft for making a move, because the 49ers feel they are a better team than what was on the field last year, obviously, and they don't expect to be picking this high anytime soon. So they may make some moves here to move up just a little bit and try to improve this roster, get somebody that they think will really, really mesh with their team and help them better. So San Francisco might be a team to watch Thursday.
Watch Jacksonville at 5, too. If Jacksonville, let's say that they want Hunter and they want a real weapon, like with Jacksonville, so if you go to Cleveland, you get 5, and you can take the D tackle out of Michigan, or you can take the offensive tackle out of LSU. We'll go up to 2 and get Trav, and you can have our 1 next year. That seems like a lot to give up. You're essentially getting 2 1s for 1. That would be something I think Cleveland would have to listen to a little bit. I wouldn't be for it, because I think you got to have weapons. I think you got to score points, and I don't think tackle and D tackle do that. But that would be something that would be intriguing.
I think it was Jordan Schultz who had said that about the 49ers. He also said the Jaguars are a team that's actually looking to move back in the draft and get more picks. So, it would make sense. He also said maybe if they stay there, they're not taking Mason Graham, they could take Ashton Genty. Mm-hmm. But I'd be surprised if the Jaguars moved up, listening to Jordan Schultz at least.
All I'll say is, as a Browns fan, if you want 2, it had better come with next year's 1. It better be something and next year's 1. If you're there and you want it that bad, like that's the Godfather offer. If it's going to get me as a fan to move off of the idea that you could take anybody there.
I wonder if it could be Vegas at 6. If Vegas would go to 2 just to make sure they get Genty or Trav, and do that, and then you fall back to 6 and you get Vegas as 1 next year. I think I'm with you. It's got to be the 1 this year and next year. That's what it's got to be. But I also think I don't think it can be one where you drop down, into the 20s or the teens or something like that either, because you need high-end talent under contract on rookie deals for a while. That's Andrew Berry said that at the Combine. Ownership said that at the league meetings. Like, they need a bunch of talent injected into this roster, and they need it to be under team control and on rookie deals, and they need it high-end. And you're going to get a high-end player at 2 for sure, and you're going to get a high-end player at 33. So that offer had better be a good one. So that was Schrager's reporting this morning. The reporting from yesterday and the stuff that I tend to think is still – I still think there's some semantic stuff that makes sense of what Schrager did today, and obviously a little bit of savvy Big J journalism stuff that Schrager did. We'll get into that. And also Daniel Jeremiah on what the Browns could do at the top of the draft with Hunter and what their plan for him would be if it is Hunter. The draft could get interesting. Perhaps it's starting today. We'll get into it and continue with it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hear that? That's the sound of saving a good deal more when you shop with M-Perks at Meijer. Some delicious blueberries, money saved. A creamy treat of cookie dough ice cream, that's money saved. Savings, savings, savings. Because every dollar spent is also 10 points earned in M-Perks, which you can use to save on your next grocery trip or up to $1 off per gallon on your next tank of gas. At Meijer, we work hard to help you save a good deal more for a whole lot less. That's bringing more good to life. Exclusions apply. See mperks.com for details.
Welcome to Cane's. It's Luke Bryan. What can I get you? Today I'm raising funds with Raising Cane's and my buddy Todd Graves for the Brett Boyer Foundation. Great food
And a great cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
and the Brett Boyer Foundation. One love.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
He shoots, he scores! No matter your sport, it's a great time of year to be a fan. But the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. At Maryhaven, we're here to help. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or mental health, you don't have to go it alone. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven meets you where you are. Always judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits. Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Lots of sun in the forecast today. It is going to be a great day to get things done outdoors. Highs right around the low 70s with mostly sunny skies. Partly cloudy tonight with our temperatures dropping to right around 50. And then for Wednesday, we warm up even more with highs right around 80 degrees and lots of that sunshine. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me, your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Draft week is here, and the Fan will have special programming all week long. Where will the former Ohio State players go? Who will the Browns take at number 2? Draft week on the Fan is presented by Crown Automotive Group of Dublin, offering sales and service for Mercedes-Benz, Ineos, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram on that side of things. Let's first, before we get into what Daniel Jeremiah had to say about Travis Hunter and what the Browns could do it too and all of that, the news of the day is this report that Peter Schrager had on Get Up this morning that the Browns and Giants are fielding calls at number 2, and as he said in the bite that we played in the previous segment, they're not being hung up on right away. Is there any actual news in that? Or is that Schrager just being very good at his job? I think it's the latter. If you are the Browns and the Giants and you are sitting there and teams call you, would you pick up the phone? Yeah. You know how I know that? Elliott Wolf, who had the number 3 pick in last year's draft and was set on taking Drake May, took calls right up until draft day. You know how we know that? Because it was on Hard Knocks. And the Giants were one of the teams asking if they were willing to trade the number 3 pick, the pick that they intended to take Drake May. This is what you do. So technically, is what Peter Schrager reported accurate? Yeah. I'm sure the Browns and the Giants are picking up their phone and saying, hey, what are you interested in? Hey, Raiders, what you really want Ashton Genty at 2 or Travis Hunter at 2? What's the give back? 6 this year, your number 1 next year, and a 2. Does that constitute a Godfather offer? Maybe it does. If that's the case, you're going to want to hear that out. But I think it would take those type of things for Cleveland to move out of 2. It would take a true Godfather offer. So I think this is Schrager just being really good at his job and just reporting what is happening in the league, but also understanding that he's on a show that is all about content. And look, we're talking about it right now. So content has been created based on the vagueness of the report and the way that he presented it, which is pretty effective. He said a whole lot without really saying anything that was too shocking. If you owned the Cleveland Browns or the New York Giants and the phone rang from an NFL team, would you pick up the phone? Yeah. You're not dressed in Peyton Manning here. And even if you were, you'd pick up the call because you never know.
I don't have it on in here, but I'm imagining during one of the hours of Get Up or the Stephen A. Smith show, which the name's escaping me on that, but I don't watch it, that they're going with that. They're saying, who's calling them? What would the Giants do? Should the Giants make that call? And they're doing content on that. And NFL Live later this afternoon does the same thing. I mean, it felt very to me like, well, yeah, they should. Good. And we're walking.
Yeah, I think you're right, Bo, in this fact that he really didn't say anything. No. And I honestly think if both teams aren't fielding calls, they're not doing a good job of doing their job. Because even if you're dead set that Travis Hunter, say you're the Browns, and Travis Hunter is the guy, and he's going to be a Pro Bowler for you for 10 years, don't you still have to listen just in case whatever someone offers is better?
Of course. Yeah. I think the only thing at this point that would constitute like a real shock in this draft, and this includes, I don't think it would be that shocking if Cleveland got a Godfather offer at 2 or the Giants got one at 3, would they trade out? Yeah, they would, and I think they probably should. I think it makes sense. Now, how you define that is interesting. I think the only thing that could really shake up this draft is if something happens with one of these young quarterbacks who have either already been paid or you have to make a decision if you're going to pay them. Now, this isn't based on any fact. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall here. Like, for example, Carolina with Bryce Young. I don't think anything's happening there. I mean, I think that they really liked what he did at the end of last season. But if Carolina were to call Cleveland and say, we'll give you Bryce Young, the number 8 pick for 2 so we can go draft Shedeur Sanders, is that something you listen to if you're Cleveland? Yeah. I think you would listen to that. I think you'd for sure listen to that. And I'm not saying this one has to do with Cleveland, but Miami with Tua. Arizona with Kyler. Schefter floated that one out there. Arizona with Kyler. Arizona's sitting at 16. Are they crazy about what Kyler is as a quarterback? An improviser? A guy who doesn't throw it on time? We know Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator there, was in Cleveland. My hunch is that what he wants out of the quarterback position isn't necessarily what Kyler is. How married is Arizona to Kyler? How about Anthony Richardson with Indy? Not at 2, not for 3, nothing like that. But, that's another player. Malik Willis looked really good last year in Green Bay. Would Green Bay put him on the trading block as a potential spot for somebody? And again, not at 2, not at 3. I'm not suggesting that. But those are the things to me that would shake up this draft. I think other than that, it's going to go probably the way that it's been trending for a while. And I think the big reason there is that it doesn't appear to be a quarterback that someone has to have at number 2 and number 3. The consensus, it's interesting though, like it's funny, I was a big Shedeur proponent for the Browns, and it feels like they're not going to go that way, so I've stepped away from that. But big proponent of him for the first month in terms of him versus Cam Ward, and a lot of things I liked about Shedeur. In the last couple of days, I heard Jeff Risdon this morning on Morning Juice talking about how he likes Shedeur more than Cam. I saw Bucky Brooks yesterday have Shedeur ahead of Cam in terms of his quarterback ratings. So this quarterback thing is in the eye of the beholder, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think to your point about Shedeur over Cam, in this scenario for the Cleveland Browns, I think Shedeur can handle bad better than Cam Ward can. Like, I think Shedeur can step into a situation that's not going to have the most talent around him, that's going to have a lot of, you need to make something happen. And I think Shedeur can produce at a better level right now than Cam Ward. That's not to say that the ceiling's not higher for Cam, but that's what I like about Shedeur to the Browns at 2 more than or even at 1 more than I would have liked Cam Ward at whichever position. Say the Browns have the ability to draft Shedeur or Cam. I think Shedeur can step into a bad situation or be on a bad team and produce better more immediately than Cam can.
He definitely can play better in structure.
Right.
I mean, we've seen that. So that you've seen that that's been the case. But he's going to be the one that this kind of turns on. Is where he kind of ends up. Most people assume, and I think correctly, that the Browns will go Travis Hunter at number 2. Daniel Jeremiah was on Part of My Take and weighed in on Cleveland taking Hunter at 2.
Cleveland's going to take him. He's going to major on offense. He's going to minor on defense.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I think so. Yeah.
I always assumed it was the other way around. You have him graded higher as a wide receiver?
I think he's more impactful as a receiver right now. And so to me, I think that's where you start him, especially in a team in Cleveland who doesn't have the premier quarterback. And maybe they, I do think they try and come away with one and get back in to take one. But to me, yeah, I think he'll be on the opposite side of Jerry Jeudy, and they'll get the ball in his hands as much as possible.
All right, so there it is on kind of the plan if it is Hunter in Cleveland. Here is Daniel Jeremiah on why they press back on why Hunter is more of a wide receiver than he is a DB.
First of all, as an aside, he wants to play wide receiver. I think he says he wants to play everything, but if you told him, he would say he's a wide receiver / corner and not the other way around.
Okay.
He touches the football more on offense. And this is not the old days. Like, he's not a press man corner, put him on one side of the field and forget about it, leave him alone. He's at his best where he can use his instincts and eyes, play off coverage, see things, set traps, drive on the ball, make some plays. So I don't think he's not like a Pat Surtain, like coming out of college as a corner. Whereas I think he is right now ready to go. There's a ton of ways we can get the ball in his hands. And I just think he impacts the game more on offense at this point in time. And it's never really been done. Everybody that's had this two-way ability, it's always been major on defense, package of plays on offense. So I realize in saying that, look, this is new. This is a new uncharted waters, so to speak. But to me, that's what makes the most sense for him.
Yeah, I think that's what the Browns would do. I do think it would be interesting. I talked about this with the Juice Boys this morning. Would it be interesting if Travis on defense is a free safety and he just takes away half the field deep? That would cause a lot less wear and tear than certainly trying to cover somebody. The Browns are pretty loaded at corner. They don't have a huge need there, but they could have a ball hawk on the back end who just tracks down balls in the air and takes away half the field. So I do think that'd be a fit, and I do think offensively he's just explosive, absolutely explosive. So you do that, I think fan base is happy, and it adds to what you need, which is you've got to score the football. You take an offensive tackle, you take a defensive tackle, that is not helping you score the football in the rate that you need.
I think it was interesting there, a couple things Jeremiah said. One, that he's a better receiver right now, meaning he's more polished at that part of the game. And he can affect the game more on that side of the ball right now. And I also kind of took it the same way as you did when he was talking about his skills on defense. Maybe this guy's maybe Travis Hunter in the long run would be a better safety than a cornerback, which wouldn't be bad for the Browns either.
A lot less running. Like you play corner, you're matching step for step, and he's primarily a man corner, which is, I think, what Jim Schwartz would want him to be too. So maybe that's the path for him. But look, remember, everything after April 1st is silly season. Believe it all at your own peril, and we'll find out in 2 days exactly what happens at the top of the draft, not only with the Browns, but the Bengals have a massive pick that they need to land on based on where they are from a financial standpoint. And all of these Buckeyes, where do they go? How early do they go? Going to be a fun week to kind of track all of this stuff down. Meantime, the college football spring meetings are underway. Heather Dinich with the 5 things that they are going to try to hammer through this week. We'll get to that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Before you start your day, UDF has already started making your breakfast right in our bakery. We've got buttery, flaky croissants baked before the crack of dawn. We're making fluffy buttermilk biscuits from scratch by the time the sun starts to think about rising. And before you hit your first alarm, we've piled our biscuits and croissants high with sausage, egg, and cheese right in store. So come in and grab a fresh one and let us make you a morning person. Fresh baked breakfast sandwiches from United Dairy Farmers. UDF, mornings made for you.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Guess what? It's driving season, friends, and my friends at Germain Lexus are ready for you with their most popular models on the lot and ready to go with special APRs as low as 3.99% up to 48 months or 4.49% up to 60 months with low lease payments starting at $389 per month on the 2025 NX. And if you're looking for a TX, they're finally available for immediate delivery. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
It's Lindsay's one and only trade-a-thon.
We'll trade for anything. Plus, give you $1,000 more for your trade. Choose a 2025 Honda Ridgeline RTL or an all-wheel drive HRV LX or a CRV LX and pay just $299 a month. 3 models with one very low Lindsay price.
Trade up to the reliability of a new or certified Honda.
So lock in your price today. The one and only Lindsay Honda Trade-a-thon is back. See lindsayhonda.com for details.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Oh, baby. Las Colinas, Texas. That is our location for the College Football Playoff Committee. They will meet there. Give me a, what's our best guess on Las Colinas? I'm going to do the Google, Texas, hotels. Let's see what we got. Oh, baby.
Right by an airport, right?
Oh, baby. We got the Omni, Las Colinas, which seems fantastic. The Ritz-Carlton, Dallas would be in the mix as a potential. Yeah, you're right by DFI, right? Dallas, are you right by that? Yeah. Right by the airport. Yeah. They can do whatever they want here. You do JW Marriott, you can live. You're going to get Marriott points however it goes. I'm certain of that. I think the Omni's got a chance, though. I don't know where the points go with Omni. I'm not familiar with that brand enough to know if there's an affiliation that I'm unaware of. Let's see. Omni. Doesn't look like there's any Marriott or Hilton. Omni could be, so it's probably not the Omni. I think it's got to be the Ritz. Got to be the Ritz-Carlton Dallas, or there's got to be a JW Marriott out there somewhere. That's got to be how they're rolling. They're not going to do anything on the cheap. No budget for these folks. Here are the things, according to Heather Dinich, that they are considering. Number one, what formats are under consideration? So Heather writes, the current 12-team model and another 14-team model that includes guaranteed spots for the Big Ten and the SEC, 4 teams each, ACC 2, Big 12 2, Group of 5 1, and 1 at large. So that is the possibility of the 2 of those things. The one thing to remember with all of this, though, guys, is whatever the possibility is, 12 or 14, they have to find something that is copacetic with their television partners and the NFL playoffs and the NFL regular season. Because as of right now, there's no dialogue between the NFL. I shouldn't say there's no dialogue. Right now, there's no agreement between the NFL and college football over giving certain Saturdays to college football. And one thing ESPN doesn't want is what happened last year where they had to farm out the college football playoff because they had other obligations. Remember, last year on Turner in the first round of the playoffs, some of those were on during that Saturday day. ESPN was running basketball, like college basketball, that they were obligated to run. They would much rather have run the college football, obviously, but they had contracts that prevented that. The other thing that's interesting here is, and she writes this, a model in which each Power 4 league can guarantee enough spots for a combination of the team's overall records and maybe even TV ratings. This according to a source. The highest ranked conferences, you're telling me the television ratings would dictate who's in? We've always told you folks that it's a television show. That's what they're doing. We've never heard somebody on record or not, and this is a source to Dinich, so it's on the record, saying that even television ratings would play a role.
Now, who would want to push that?
Ohio State, Texas, Alabama.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Don't we lose all credibility here with this?
We have so little.
I mean, it's gosh.
You're looking for credibility, brother. I'm not telling you. These meetings aren't going to where you're going to find it.
Yeah. What a mess. All right, the next thing that they're going to tackle is what's the deal with automatic qualifiers. So one reason administrators and coaches in the Big Ten and the SEC favor automatic qualifiers is the possibility of playing games and the interest they could create late in the season. For example, she writes, if the SEC had 4 guaranteed playoff spots, the conference championship game would feature 2 of them, and then the next 2 spots would be determined by matchups between the number 3 and 6 teams and the number 4 and 5 teams. I think that this stuff makes my head hurt. You have got to, if you are Sankey and Petiti and the presidents and the athletic directors, you need to talk to some coaches about this. You need to go to the coaches in the Big Ten and the SEC, and I understand this is what the money's for, and say, hey, Ryan, after playing the Michigan game next year, you're going to play a number 1 versus number 2 game, or a number 3 versus number 6, or a 4 versus 5, and the winners of the 4 versus 5 and 3 versus 6 are in the playoff and the losers are out. Can I interest you in that a week after the Michigan game? That's what you're saying. How many high leveraged games can you play?
This whole thing just seems like they're throwing everything at the wall because they have to, at least this year, they have to get everybody on board if they want to make any changes, and nobody is going to, I think, do just whatever the Big Ten and the SEC want to do, and the Big Ten and the SEC aren't interested in giving the ACC, the Big 12, or the Group of 5 conferences anymore from what they're not going to give them anything, or they don't want to make it fair for all because they don't want it to be fair because that means less for them. Mm-hmm. I think it's when you get through the 2026 national championship game, then I think those things that they have at these meetings in the week, I think those are going to be like the serious ones. Like this just screams like you're not serious people with all of this. The play-in things, the TV ratings determining your playoff seeds or determining how many.
I think the play-in stuff is serious, Reese. I think they want that. I think they want to sell it.
Well, don't they just expand at that point?
Well, but then they open it up to someone other than themselves. Like they're greedy little pigs. They want all of it. They want all the money. They want to. If you're SEC, you want to go to ESPN and say, "Can we interest you in not one SEC title game on that final weekend, but can we interest you in 3?" Like you can run programming noon, 3:30, 7, all SEC playing games. The top 2 seeds obviously would get in, but 3, 6, and 4, 5, the winners advance, the losers go home. I think that's about money. I think they're just trying to. I believe that. I think there's sincerity in that. I think it's duplicitous, but I do think there's sincerity in it.
It almost seems
it's
like
awful. It sucks.
It almost seems like they want this to go year round, right?
Well,
let's keep expanding and give them a month or 2 off in the summer, and then we'll just keep playing. We'll keep adding whatever games, try to put a title to it, make it some kind of tournament, and we'll just keep making money.
Well, Mike talked about that a long time ago, a few years ago, about the NFL. Like, would the NFL ever get to a point where they play 30 regular season games and just go year round, like the Premier League? Every Sunday year round, like you just play forever. I mean, that's, there's a lot of money in it. So maybe you would. Will the selection committee remain the same? Another thing Heather articulates that potentially could change. Will the seeding system change for the fall? This is a big one because I think one thing that we noticed immediately last year when the initial playoff was released was Oregon having to play Ohio State was nonsense. Oregon was the number 1 overall seed, and they had to play the toughest opponent in the whole damn thing right away, and that there should be some common sense in seeding. And so what I think that would do is you would just be the 4 highest ranked teams would have buys versus the 4 highest ranked conference champions. And we could finally just acknowledge that not all conferences are created equal. You don't need a scenario where Boise State and Arizona State are getting first round buys. That's not right. Those conferences are not the same.
And I just keep coming back to, like, right now, they're going to keep clamoring for that. And I understand if you're the Big Ten and the SEC. You're like, no, you're not getting an auto bid for winning, or you're not getting an auto bid out of a group of 5. Like, we're not just going to hand this to Boise State anymore. Or the ACC's not putting in 2 teams into this anymore because we've seen what happened. Like, now we actually have some data that tells us we're not equal here, guys. So let's stop trying to be this way. It's just, however, for 2025, you all have to play like it is.
I wonder, and I know this is just reacting to this right now, and this is kind of far out there, but what if a bottom-feeding SEC or Big Ten school decides one year, hey, we're going to throw a ton of money into football. We're going to try to get all the best players out of the transfer portal this year. We're going to get everyone here for 1 year. We're going to put one big year push into this and try to get into this playoff. Like, let's just say it's a Northwestern, for instance.
Okay.
Are they going to hold them out? Are the Big Ten or SEC going to be happy that they get held out because they don't get enough TV ratings over another school? Like, it's just all kind of weird stuff here.
The TV thing is odd, even by their standards of odd bake. That someone would float that to Heather is wild to me. That someone would say that out loud and allow for it to be sourced on the record. I think that's absolutely crazy that would be said out loud. I think the number one thing that they got to fix for next year is what happened with the playoff this year. And that was what happened with Boise State, what happened with Arizona State, what happened with, quite honestly, Penn State as the 4 seed. If you went to Dan Lanning at Oregon and said, would you rather have a bye and have to play theoretically Ohio State and Texas to get to a national championship, or would you rather play 3 games and have those 3 games be against SMU at home, Boise State in a bowl game, and Notre Dame? He would take option 2. He would take the 3 games and he would take that road. Guess what? So would Georgia, the 2 seed. They would have taken that road too, versus having to play Notre Dame right out of the gates. So those are the things that I think are really tricky in this spot. Is you have got to make sure that the teams that are seeded highest have advantageous roads. And the idea that Penn State's road, because of automatic qualifiers and the rest of it, was SMU, Boise State all the way to the semifinal, and Oregon had to open with Ohio State, that's crazy. So they need to get the seeding done 1 through 4 the best that they can. And in order to do so, you've got to acknowledge that all of these conferences were not created equal. Do I have faith that they're going to get this done this year? No. No, I don't. Do I have faith that when they redo this thing for 2026 and it goes to 14 or 16, that it will primarily be about how do we maximize the amount of money we can make for the Big Ten and the SEC? Yes, I do. Do I think they'll have playoff games in those 2 conferences if they can sell them to their television partners? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think they ought to listen to coaches a little, though. Because what you are asking for, and I understand it's what the money's for, but what you're asking for out of players and coaches is already borderline. I mean, it's already without precedent. We just did it this year, but then to add more to it, more high-leveraged games, I think you worry a little bit about watering it down. I think the next thing they need to do, really important, is Sankey and Petiti need to sit down with the NFL and say, hey, how can we carve this out so we stay out of your lane and you stay out of ours? That agreement also has to take place. It's something they need to do this offseason so it's ready by 2026. We'll get you 3 things on a Tuesday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Steel walk behind, zero turn, and stand on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door,
Or is it more than
Dr.
me?
Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could dump all your problems on someone else's back? Well, when you wake up to a clogged drain or a plumbing issue, make that Mr. Rooter's problem.
Call 855-MISTERS today or MrRooter.com.
Call Mr. Rooter. He'll be there quick.
Guys, what's up? It's Matty Ice, and I'm here with Wendy's. And if you're looking for your next sandwich love, check out the Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich. This sandwich really has me feeling the heat, and it's packed with bold Cajun flavors that add that perfect little kick. Plus, it's topped with crispy onions that give it a satisfying crunch in every single bite. And did I mention this is all on top of Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich? So if you love that, you have to get your hands on this Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich before it's gone. For that little extra kick, it's got to be Wendy's. Open until midnight or later.
It's one of the best weeks of the year. Draft Week. Draft Week. Draft Week on The Fan is
presented by the Crown Automotive Group in Dublin.
The Fan. Ohio's sports destination.
Men over 40, struggling with low energy, not feeling like yourself? Low T Center's testosterone replacement therapy is the solution. Get started today. Visit one of our conveniently located clinics, meet a medical provider, and get back to feeling your best. This April only, the consultation is free. Treatment is tailor-made just for you and is covered by most major insurance. Get treated at our centers or from home. Why wait? Book your appointment now at lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH. That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll sponsored by Caster Connection, and it asks, what are you paying more attention to? NBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs. There's also an option, I don't care. Maybe we don't throw in the I don't care option.
Yeah, it's too easy.
But 38% of you don't care. 35% say you're paying more attention to the NBA playoffs. 25% say the Stanley Cup playoffs are getting the bulk of your sporting attention.
This is a relatively new phenomenon, probably in the last decade plus. But I think the poll results back up kind of this theory that I've had that the Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL have become incredibly regionally biased. You care about your team. If your team's not in it, then you check out. Meantime, college football has jumped into that spot, and college football is the thing where even if your team's not playing, you're into it. So they've kind of all swapped with college football. It's become incredibly regional on that side of it, and then the other side of it is very much more of a national thing where you watch the games even if your team's not involved. We did have a friend of the program tweet us a snap or a TikTok, I think, of a goose and a tiger at the Columbus Zoo in the tiger space, and the goose fought back and pushed the tiger away. So I tweeted out, who are you rooting for, tiger or goose? About 130 votes in an hour and a half. 66% tiger, 34% goose.
Actually, thought it'd be more for the tiger.
Even more.
Yeah, so did I.
We're sick of geese around here, man. We've had enough of them. So that's where you stand on that. All right, time for 3 things on a Tuesday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, so Saturday, got home from youth lacrosse and realized that I needed to go to the grocery store because it would be closed on Sunday, and my wife wanted to do a Sunday dinner. So I thought, well, let's do a whole roasted chicken. Let's do that. And so I went to the grocery store, and then she texted me, and she goes, I need you to pick up the lamb cake. I'd never heard of the term lamb cake. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was all in play. I thought it could have been, maybe it was a rack of lamb maybe it was that, like an actual lamb. I had no idea what it was. So she said, no, it's at the bakery. So then I'm thinking, okay, this has got to be like a white cake with a lamb decoration on it or something like that. So the lady comes out, and it's in a box with like lambs on the box, and it's all Easterified. I don't know how lambs have to do with Easter. That doesn't make any sense to me at all, but whatever. So why is it not a bunny cake? But no, it's a lamb cake. Fellas, the lamb cake was an actual lamb. Like a cake that looked like a damn lamb, okay? It was creepy. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, and it was, the price would make you blush. Like, it's just ridiculous. And I'm like, am I going to cut off this thing's head to eat it? Like, what are we doing? Like, it was a decent-sized lamb cake. So I'm like, okay, she wants it. This is not a fight worth having with my wife. I'll put the lamb cake in the cart, and away we go. So it comes time to check out. The whole chicken, which I had purchased, the juices from the chicken there was a hole in the packaging. No. It dripped down onto the box. So as I pull the lamb cake out, it's in a box. I pull it out. There is chicken juice dripping on the box. So that ain't worth it to me. I thought it was creepy anyway. I'm like, now there's chicken juice on it. So they got to get me another chicken because it's leaking the lamb. She goes, the checkout lady goes, do you want it? I said, I don't think that's worth the risk. Like, I don't know if it got in there or not, but I definitely don't want like raw chicken blood juice on a lamb cake. So the call was made, and the wife was actually supportive that I should not have brought the lamb cake home. Now, she did say, do you want to see if there's another lamb cake? The answer to that was no. I do not want to see. Having it even in a cart long enough was freaky for me. I didn't need any more, but the lamb cake, nothing came of it, thankfully. And I did tell her, don't ever do that again. I'm not cutting up a lamb and then serving it with ice cream.
I figured lamb cake was just her nickname for you.
In the old days, Bake. We got kids now. Not a whole lot of lamb cake days left.
My first
got to really plan the lamb cake days. How about on a Friday in 3 weeks with a bottle of wine? Can we get a lamb cake then?
Got you in the phone.
Yeah.
First thing is now just lamb cake questions. Was the lamb standing? Was it a hyper-realistic lamb or
yes,
a seated lamb?
It was awful. It was seated. It was like it was perched, ready to be pounced.
Like it wasn't like a cartoonishly cute lamb?
Well, no, I think it was trying to be, but
they failed that.
Well, it was I don't know. I thought it was creepy. To me, I just thought, how are we going to serve this thing? How am I cutting this thing up? Who the hell's going to eat it? By the way, because all of our family, my whole family's in Montana, her whole family's out in Southern California this time of year. So, like, there's no family here to share with. And this is a large lamb cake.
I mean,
who's going to eat it?
Would have likely had to start off by beheading the lamb.
That's what I said. I'm like, this is going to look crazy. I'm going to cut the head off of this damn thing. And then there's a carcass, like a lamb cake carcass.
I mean, I don't even know how to follow the lamb cake up.
I have more questions on this.
Get me a lamb cake. I don't even know. What is that? I don't know. It's what you think.
Yeah, have you ever... How is that like request made? Get me a lamb cake. Or
how's it on a menu? Why does a lamb have anything to do with Easter? Like what? Who decided that lambs have to do with Easter? Like bunny, fine. Lamb? Like give me a bunny cake. You give me big Bugs
right. That
Bunny,
would make more sense.
Put him in a suit.
I mean, I guess Jesus was the ultimate sacrificial lamb, right? Maybe that's where it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a mess. Absolute mess. Chicken blood. Yeah, So I opened they're like, well, it doesn't look like the juices and blood have reached the cake, but you could see it dripping down the box in the vicinity. To me, I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't need
chicken flavored lamb cake.
Oh, by the way, she comes to, I shouldn't even.
People that are watching the YouTube volume just had to see Bo Bishop check his back.
Turn his pot up while he whispers into the microphone.
So she also, when it came time, so I played golf with the boys. So I said, look, whole roasted chicken, just do the Thomas Keller chicken recipe. That's all you got to do. And it's really easy. Just salt the heck out of it. You cook it at high temperature for an hour. It turns out crispy. Everything's wonderful. So we get back from the golf, and I see the chicken. I'm like, this doesn't seem right. I mean, it was cooked. It wasn't raw or anything, but it was cooked. So I said, this seems a little different. So I start like carving it. I'm like, wait a second. What? This isn't. She cooked it upside down. So the crispy was all on the back, and the breasts were. It's been a week. I don't even know where we are. Are we on 2, 3? I don't know where we are.
I think we're done.
But that's where all that stands.
I think we're finished.
Those are your 3 things. Your 3 things rules for the day. For the folks out there driving around. You listen on a podcast. Somebody says, is it a good idea to get a lamb cake? The answer to that is no. Don't do the lamb cake. Steer away from it. Just go a sheet cake, put a happy Easter on it, have a bunny bouncing around. You don't want a lamb involved in any way, Reese. That's the big takeaway.
It makes the most sense. Just real quick, Brock Purdy is a no-show at Niners, or not Brock Purdy. He's showing up. George Kittle's a no-show at Niners voluntary workouts. Yeah, he was in Vegas all weekend.
Still hungover from WrestleMania.
I didn't show up on a Tuesday either.
What a mess all that is. Oh, I got a lamb. Okay, so we should have known this as men of God. Steven's saying the lamb represents the Lamb of God for Easter. Bunnies make no sense. Okay, fine.
So we're just cutting it up, though?
So why are we still cutting it up? No, thanks. Stay away from the lamb cake. Stay here, though. Rothman and Ice is coming up next. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here at The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Bo Bishop here. High Bank Distillery Co. is the most awarded distillery in America at the 2024 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Stop by your local liquor store to grab a bottle, or the 3 restaurant locations in Gahanna, Grandview, or Westerville. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Now at White Castle, you can get 12 chicken rings for just $3.99. Tender on the inside, crispy on the outside. Choose from classic or our new Cheddar Blast flavor made with real cheddar cheese. White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only at participating castles. Tax not included.
Hey, it's Anthony. Of course, I sit and do the show 3 hours a day. But after that, I'm looking to get things done and enjoy the spring weather. So I want to be on my feet a lot, playing golf, working out, just moving around. I was introduced to the Good Feet store because my feet were aching way too often. And what I found there is a 3-step custom arch support system that has me feeling awesome. My personally fit arch supports have helped realign my feet, reposition my body into a more ideal position, and not only that, strengthen my feet to help support me. It's made all the difference in how I feel every day. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And when you wear them as a system, their arch supports are more effective at long-term pain reduction and elimination. So go in, take the free test walk. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Their products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or at goodfeet.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, living with chronic pain, it's like trying to get comfortable on a cactus sofa Walking on pins and needles, nothing feels good. And forget trying to do the things you love and enjoy. Like the spring, it's getting warm, whether you want to golf, whether you want to hike, whether you want to bike, whether you want to play pickleball. You're just trying to get by. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter here. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. Finally, calm that debilitating joint pain in your knee just like I did. Maybe it's your hip, your shoulder, your back. Don't miss a beat, no surgery or long recovery. I'm done with getting cut on. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They give you your life back. A life healthier, free of harmful meds. That's the whole mission of QC Kinetics. You could be a candidate. So go to qckinetics.com/Columbus to find out how easy it is. They've got offices now in Canal and Grove City, so call 380-208-4544.
Transforming your land with a John Deere compact tractor is as easy as connect, latch, load, haul, spread. Cutting grass is as simple as roll, click, mow. Box blading is as effortless as hook, lock, grade. And backhoeing is as convenient as turn around, switch, dig. Because when you've got the versatility to tackle just about any job and dealer support in your own backyard, you just have to get in the seat. Find the right compact tractor for you at johndeere.com.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com.